We can't hear you, Margarita, for some reason.
Is that better?
I can hear you, but it's soft.
Hold on, like that. Is it the mic?
That's a
Do I
little
need to eat
better.
it? Need to eat the
Yeah,
mic?
there you go.
Okay. No. What did you talk about? What did I miss?
Um, my my Canon, he was flashing. Um, he was flashing a different color. It's never happened before.
How long have you had your Canon at Brad?
Whew. It's been some time. He's been my companion for a while. I would say, how long have I been traveling? Not that long.
It's very unusual that you haven't seen it flash before. What caused it?
That I don't know. What did it coincide with, Ronnie?
Um, that you're gonna have to roll for.
Okay. What am I rolling?
In this case, go ahead and just roll me a history check.
Okay. Let's go. That is a 24.
24, great. Although the immediate memory kind of escaped you as you like put your hand on your chin and scratch it a little bit, you have that light bulb moment where you realize that your companion, your little like Canon companion guy, you remember installing a radar of sorts to pick up any.
He disconnected. Sorry to interrupt.
Dope, about to release the core part of his character.
I know. That's what I was like. Hold on a second.
How do I set my like status on?
Zoom?
No, on Discord.
Oh.
You right click like your username, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, so I clicked my little avatar, on the bottom left-hand corner, and then you'll get this menu that says like your username, Discord member since, blah 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 blah.
Oh, set custom status. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm about to buy this bag right now.
I'm telling you, buy it, dude.
It's so nice.
I'm telling you, buy it and then just return the one that you got.
Yeah, I know.
And like a lot of times that's like in most company policies where like if you buy something and then it goes on sale cheaper, you can get them to like give you.
Yeah, it's price matching. I know. Because, I mean, the whole concept is you could just return the fucking purchase, get your money back, and then buy it for the cheaper price anyway.
Yeah.
The other day, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I was a big five, and I had bought some shit, and then like the next day they came out with a way better coupon in my email, and so I went back, and the girl was having like this like short circuit in her brain. She was like, no, I don't know how to do it. I was like, look, I tell you what, let me just return this entirely. You give me my money back, and then I'll buy it again with a different coupon. And she's like, oh, okay, I can do that. And I was like, yeah, okay.
That's so funny. She's like, error, no.
Like
no,
it
I could
really
tell she was
wasn't
like
that hard.
she was like a new working girl. She was probably like 20 or something, probably
She was a
one of her
working
first
girl,
jobs.
I
Dave?
know.
Wow.
I love that phrase.
Okay. Well, it is on Harbor. So
That is true.
Harbor Boulevard Margarita is
Yeah.
like strip clubs every other corner. It's
Wow.
nuts.
Yeah, so like on my, so I live off Harbor, and so like on my exit from like the freeway like down to where my apartment is, it's all just like used tire shops and like audio video like I don't know, just like secondhand like stores and like strip clubs.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so like when we first moved there, I was like, damn, dude, Emma's parents are gonna have to drive down this street.
And Harbor used to have a way worse reputation. Like I've talked to people that are like Orange County natives, and they're like, yeah, that was like they had a huge problem with prostitution there. And every time you drive, you see all these girls just walking, on the street. It's like, damn, dude. Harbor's got quite a reputation.
Seems like
Yeah, like-
truckers would go through there, sort of thing, like that
Kinda,
sort of vibe. Okay, working people's being like, yeah, I'll get some sex and some tires.
And this return apparently.
Yeah.
But
More
yeah.
coffee.
Where'd this fool go?
I don't know.
His internet dropped.
He could just join from his phone though, if that's the case.
So, well, while I'm waiting to get my bearings straight, more trolls are fought. We got to take all of the merchants and the soldiers back per the lizard, gizzard, lizard king, and whatever. And then now we're good. We're going back to Leyland.
Yeah, King Lizard and the Gizzard Wizard.
There we go. All right, great.
Not to be confused with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, who is starting their US tour. Dave.
I'm down, man. I like them. All the songs
Yeah.
you showed me were fucking sick.
Dude, I was starting to watch the music video for the new stuff they put out. They're so fucking trippy.
Dude, okay. Look, if you guys want, I'm down to go see them. I think they're playing at the Rose Bowl.
Oh no shit.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
They're
They're
that
doing
big?
like three. They're doing like 3 nights at the Rose Bowl.
Damn. I
They
didn't
got-
realize they were like that popular.
Yeah, so they got like a really cool gig where a really cool tour setup where they're doing like mini residencies. So they're doing like 3 to 4 nights at the Rose Bowl, 3 to 4 nights at like the Red Rock, 3 to 4 nights somewhere in New York, 3 to 4 nights in like Chicago or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think like the final show at like is going to be at the Red Rocks, and it's going to be like 4 hours of just them playing music, one fucking song.
Yeah, it's pretty much one song.
Oh yeah. In June, Hollywood Bowl. It looks like it's the last stop on the tour that's out right now.
When is it?
It just clicked off. Wednesday, June 21st.
Oh, June 21st.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. That we got time.
Next year.
June 21st is a great day.
Is that solstice?
I don't know if you know who Jeff Rosenstock is.
That's
He's
really
this.
bad. I don't know.
He's great. He's this like ska / like pop punk / like whatever.
Mhm.
And he has a song called June 21st, and he talks about how it's just the best day of the year because it means the summertime. And he like yeah.
Cool.
And then like but like the song is just about how great June 21st is, and he mentions that date specifically. And
Cute.
then somebody asked him like on Twitter, like, what's the significance of like June 21st, like aside from like the solstice? He's like, that's my anniversary with my wife.
Aw.
Like, aw. Yeah.
Yo, so that was the worst timing of all time.
Bro, I was like, as I'm about to reveal this like core thing of like who Ebrath is, gone.
Bro, I don't know why I guess my battery's farther gone than I thought.
That's okay.
Because it was fully charged when I brought it out here. But okay, so what happened?
So the last thing you remember before passing out
Mhm.
was that your canon was setting off like a noise, like a almost like an alarm.
Mhm.
Not like a like danger alarm, but like more of like a notification sort of deal.
Got it. Like,
Um,
okay, go ahead.
and being an artificer,
Mhm.
especially a rock gnome artificer, you understand that certain gemstones have certain like frequencies, you
Mhm.
know, like they resonate on their own frequency compared to like onyx or emeralds or whatever,
Right.
slate, you know, like each rock type or whatever has their own sort of like chemical composition, so they resonate differently.
Mhm.
You have set up your canon companion to alert you anytime there is a particular frequency in your area.
Got it.
Not enough to have it go off anytime Vox has his bow out, but when there's like a larger concentration of that particular thing, it goes off.
Got it. And I just wasn't expecting that to happen in this area, I guess. Yeah, so I'll just say so far in my travels that's hasn't happened, but the only thing that would make him react like that would be a powerful source of kyber crystal in the area. So something in that swamp is powered by a crystal.
Does Jane know about kyber crystals?
I think you
I think
mentioned
yeah, I
it,
think we
but, like,
briefly
not.
talked about them.
They're also called dragon shards, but
Yeah. Wasn't there a reaction when we were in the tower where the portal was? There was some kyber crystal mention of stuff.
I don't recall, honestly.
Yeah, but we did talk about them. So basically, like they're a powerful form of like magical energy, and they can be used to power like uniquely powerful weapons like Vox Aslan's oath bow. Even though his
That
weapon
has
is
shards in it, right?
that those are shards, right? It's not
Got
a
it.
full. So far, we have yet to encounter a full kyber crystal out in the wild.
Okay. I think we have talked about it because, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
It's just
so
a giant energy source, a la Tony Stark's whatever in his
yeah,
chest.
like arc
Okay.
reactor.
A lot like that. Yeah. So basically, these are like magical gemstones that absorb a lot of the like natural magic that comes from dragons. Dragons are just a naturally magical race. Being exposed to that like magical source over time can kind of like it can absorb all of that magic and like create this concentration of that, and it kind of like transforms that stone, which is why it's also called dragon shard. The official title is kyber crystal, which is a total ripoff of Star Wars, but
totally.
Wizards of the Coast did it, not me. And yeah, and so just to give you a brief breakdown of it, kyber crystals, like Ebrath said, are used often for like fortifying items to make them like a non-magical item magical, and it's also a very powerful source for necromantic energies. It's used in like necromancy and like raising the dead and things like that often. So if you guys know any bad guys who happen to be necromancers, that might not be a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, that's true. You don't.
Yeah, Ebrath has no idea.
You have encountered the cult, but I don't think
right.
You know
but I've never,
about, yeah.
Right. I've never come head to head with that baddie.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm just gonna. So where are we saying like Tybalt and Gon are right now?
They're passed out in the.
They're all fucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, man, I need to.
Nah, they're drunk, bro. They're hungover. They had a good time.
I was like, dude, I was like, I have to talk to Tybalt. I need to tell him, like, Vox, there is powerful kyber crystal. I don't know if it's whole, but it's definitely stronger than what's in your bow. And I don't know if it's the one I'm looking for, but it might be worth heading back into those swamps at some point.
Yo, Dave, you're muted.
Thanks. I've encountered a couple of kyber crystals in the past. There's a lot of history. I've seen a lot of bad things happen, but it's one of those chaos and opportunity moments where there's so much potential, but in the wrong hands, obviously it can go wrong. Ronnie, can you check your Zoom message for me real quick? And I'll share with both of you. I had some traveling companions in the past, and kyber crystals kind of saved my freedom. There was a very powerful group that was bartering for essentially for us being slaves. And have either of you met Octavia yet? No. Okay. We have an ally that checks in with us from time to time. And she managed to manipulate a big deal and basically got us free at that point. But there's a lot of evil that is done in the name of obtaining these crystals. Again, in the wrong hands, or just they can wreak havoc on the world. Embrath, what know you of Warforged? I think I may know what caused your reaction.
Well, I mean, I know they're not super common. I would back home, we would see them from time to time. They were usually they're used as tools for the most part. They were developed to fulfill manual labor, or as foot soldiers who took direction very well. I haven't seen any since I left the Sunrise Mountains, but I've come across them quite some time over my life.
Would you typically have a kyber crystal and to power a Warforged? Does it
No.
require that level of energy?
No. Well, I mean, you would use Warforged in general don't necessarily need that much magical power. Yeah, that I was gonna say juice. Magical power. You can power them using shards if needed, if you really need a specialized Warforged for something. Using a full kyber crystal to power Warforged is unheard of.
May not be as rare as you think.
Really?
Had a little bit of a run-in the forest. It was a being that possessed more power than anything I've seen in a really long time. But it almost killed me.
What was it? What did it look like?
And I think as he asked that, it kind of triggers a little bit of PTSD from the last, not this run-in, but the run-in before at the Dragon's Keep. And it takes Vox a minute to respond. Obviously I won't sit here and just like stare at each other, but
Yeah.
Just know it takes him a little bit where he's just like trying to find the words, and you can see he's like trying to spit it out. And then ultimately it was this unusual, this fusion of the only two Warforged I've ever seen. I don't know a lot about the technology. I don't know everything, but it seems like there's been some type of unholy union of these two energies that I know very little about, other than my old companion seems to have some form of consciousness within this unusual Warforged.
Wait, your friend, the one that died, the one that Tybalt doesn't like talking about, he was a Warforged?
He didn't die. I've never ever suspected him of actually being dead. I know he's still out there.
Well,
And
it's
I
not
knew
what
this from the beginning.
it's not what God and Tybalt said. They said that he died fighting the dragon.
Well, I think they're wrong, and I've always thought they were wrong. He's out there now.
So he was a Warforged powered by Kyber Crystal, a full Kyber Crystal.
That's the best I can guess. There's an unusual glow that emanates from from the two Warforged. And I don't know exactly what it is.
Wait,
That's
two? What you mean? What do you mean? There's a second one?
There was a second one, but
Okay.
it doesn't seem like they're two entities any longer.
Okay, so your friend who was maybe not killed but lost in that final battle against the dragon, which made you guys heroes of Phandalin. Your Warforged friend who had Kyber Crystal as his power source. Somehow, what happened to him? If he didn't die, where did he go?
I know the whole thing sounds crazy. I'm still trying to figure it out, Breath.
And
It's
so
been a long day. Let's get on with the road and get some rest, and I'll tell you a story in time. I'm still digesting it.
So
There's so much to comprehend here.
So just now in the swamp, you saw this Warforged?
Yeah, there was something there.
Huh. Okay.
I can only imagine that it's being powered by some type of crystal. The strength was beyond comprehension. I saw him slaughter a small army of crocodiles and other beasts, and
Oh shit.
It would have been, even with all of our strength and numbers, with our entire ally force here, it would have been a difficult fight, and he cut through them like butter. And I don't know. I'm still trying to process this.
Okay. You're right. Let's just worry about heading back, and maybe when we get back, I can find a map and have you mark whereabouts you think you saw him at, and later maybe we can venture in and try and get some more information, or send for the lizard folk and see if they have any information or sightings or anything like that.
That's a good idea, Breath. I would caution against trying to find this being again. He almost killed me.
So he attacked you?
Almost. There was an unusual moment of clarity where he stopped himself at the last minute and asked for help.
Oh shit.
So you think you
Didn't quite attack me.
Okay. But he recognized you. Your friend was in there somewhere.
Absolutely. He's still alive.
And he spoke to you.
Briefly.
Well, we definitely have to, once Tybalt and gone awake, I think they'd really like that information. Were they with you when that happened?
No.
Tybalt was kind of not when it happened.
But he wasn't in
No.
that area with you guys.
No.
Okay.
I told them about it after the fact.
Got it. Okay, so he's already aware.
Solo venture where I encountered this.
So he's aware, and I was off somewhere else, nearby-ish, but not quite by you.
You were fighting the trolls.
Okay, that was when I was fighting the trolls. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So Vox was passed out for a couple days, if you recall. After the Naga battle and the fight with the big snakes, he had been poisoned by the snakes and by the Naga, and so it put him out for a couple days. So while you guys were out fighting the trolls, Vox was passed out and recovering. Once he had awoken, he set off to join you guys. His survival checks didn't quite pan out for the first time in his life ever, but
so he ended up getting ambushed by some shit and being kind of saved by this Warforged abomination.
no, he came across this individual fighting off a large force of
Got it.
creatures on his own.
So you just kind of stumbled upon that scene.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so so the
What
whole
does
time
Jane
we're out
Vista
there.
think about all of this?
Oh yeah.
Where are we heading now?
Back to
We're heading
Leylon,
back to Leylon.
Okay.
because we've just completed that little mission. We got to go back and check in.
Yeah.
Got to get a reward, son.
What was the reward? You know,
I don't know.
Do you not know?
I don't remember what it said, but there was a award. There said something about a reward, so we just got to figure out with whoever gives the jobs.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure I have it in the notes somewhere.
Yeah. So Jane, what's going through your head?
I'm just in awe that this thing in the swamp recognized you. Lucky that you got out when you did. Sounds like you would have caused a lot of damage otherwise. But what does this mean for us? Is this something that you think the townspeople are going to know about? You think they've heard about this thing lurking in the swamps before?
I don't think so. The lizard folk haven't mentioned it, haven't necessarily told them. We may want to keep this under wraps until we have a better idea of what exactly is going on here. We don't need to cause unnecessary alarm and have people in a panic over something we can't do anything about right now.
That's true. We don't have enough information to really go to anyone with this yet.
And Andre is moving rooms, he said.
Cool. The lizard folk did mention him very briefly, but nobody caught it.
Oh. Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was very brief, and I think Ebrath was the only. Oh, I don't think you were there for that, Dave. That's
okay.
Why.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, I think Andre was the only one that was like, "Huh." And then
What did the lizard folks say? Can we recap that basically for
about that guy?
Mm-hmm.
At one point when they were like capturing you guys, they were like discussing the different smells and the how some of you smelled like food and some of you didn't smell like food.
Okay, got it. I remember that.
And then one of them mentioned like, oh, something about like the metal man or whatever, some whatever rudimentary description of a robot that they would have. But it was very like in passing and like there wasn't a lot. It was like one statement that kind of got looked over.
Mm-hmm.
That was your first hint. Yeah. Does Jane Vista know anything about what happened before, or
not really? Like, I think when we had our little like jail time powwow, everyone's been very close to the chest about what they're talking about. All I know really is like, yeah, they're playing it fucking tight. They're sad pants all day. So I've gathered that like Tybalt super upset about it, doesn't like to talk about it. Yeah, that's basically the vibe. It's like someone's died. It's really vague. No one wants to talk about it. I'm not really gonna ask too many questions.
Yeah. Well, you can. Just as a reminder, you can always ask questions.
No, I know. I'm thinking more of like their vibes make it seem like touchy subject. That's what I'm at.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe like they're always touchy subject vibes. So like just
No, yeah.
they need to put on their adult pants and handle
We need
trauma
to talk
like
about
adults.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor
Uh.
is in. It's like Jane Vista, 5 cents.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't really gotten into it too much. I think too because we've been smallpox people.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you spell Khyber?
I think it's Kaiber. I'm not sure, or maybe KY.
No, it's KhYber.
Okay.
Pretty sure because I have it in my notes from before, and that's when I was taking all the handwritten notes at the end of the last first season or whatever you want to call it.
Analog. All right, cool.
I have the actual like link somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Khyber Dragon Shard. So yeah, so we'll get back to town soon. And we'll figure out what we're gonna do from there.
Yeah. Is Griselda still the one that's like sending us on the missions and stuff?
This one wasn't Griselda, it was somebody else who had
This one was Briltora Red Eye.
correct.
Oh, I don't have that name on here.
And I think it was the patrol's her husband, right? The private Vester is her husband, I think.
Oh, so she was like, "Where is he? Help!"
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Griselda's just like the taskmaster, right? Like she kind of oversees all of the trade and stuff that's going on and like tells people what to do.
Managing this town.
Yeah, I think she was the one that gave us the other quest though for
Yeah.
going back to Fandolin.
Yeah, I think so. But then we just got it off the board, right? The one we just did. Didn't we just get it off like the job board or whatever?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it was
kinda, yeah.
It was
She
on the
told
board,
us about
but
it
then we went
first,
and
that it was
actually-
on the board.
We actually went and talked to Briltora and got
Yeah.
the info from her.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so let's head back then since Andre's
Yeah.
back.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. You guys way back in town, and you immediately come just by the geography of the town, the settlers camp, which is where a lot of the like day-to-day business of the rebuilding of Leylon happens. That's where Griselda kind of like makes her little like office space. She has like a tent area where she has like the working desk, and people come in with like their what's the word I'm looking for, like invoices and report or whatever, or like supplies. That's where she kind of like gives her orders for whatever like working people need to go where, and manages her projects from there. It's also where the other like town leaders usually tend to meet, and when they have their like council kind of meetings is in the settlers camp, and that's at the very south of town. In fact, I have a map of it. on somewhere. Hold it. While you walk up, you hear the general hustle and bustle of town, and you do come across a large number of like these town kind of like leaders and like officials or whatever, and they do see you kind of coming. Griselda especially kind of like stops and takes notice of you. How do you guys move forward?
The missing patrol's with us, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm not as interested in talking to Griselda. Oh, you said it's Beltora? Beltora's there?
No, Beltora works in the smithery.
Okay.
She would be elsewhere.
We can still tell Griselda like, hey, we just brought these people back.
Yeah. And as you unpack and are greeted by whoever the little like stable boy is that like takes your horse and like carriage and kind of like unpacks for you, you can kind of leave that to them and head over to speak to whoever you need to speak to.
I guess I probably would have a brief exchange with Griselda.
Okay.
Since she's the first one we run into.
Yeah.
Griselda, we've returned. As you can see, we brought back the missing patrol. They were indeed in need of assistance. They were not in good shape. But with all that said, we've worked out an agreement with the lizard folk in this area.
And she says, oh, these lizard folk are terrible people. They've been capturing our men. How did you manage that?
We helped them. That we actually, I say we, but I wasn't actually part of that. But we were captured by them, and ultimately they realized that they were in need of our assistance.
There are many tales of these ferocious lizard folk. Oh, that's hard to believe, but I don't doubt your word. Please explain. How's it going?
What was that?
You cut out at the end, the very end.
I said, it's hard to believe, but I don't doubt your word. Please explain how this came to be.
Got it.
Well, I'll look to my companion since I was like MIA for part of that and like passed out in the swamp.
Yeah. So we found out that the lizard folk were being plagued by trolls in the area, and they needed help. The trolls were running rampant, killing their people, encroaching on their land. So we made a deal with them that if we helped them defeat the trolls in the area, having already helped them, there at one point they were attacked by a troll or two trolls, I think, in the middle of their little town, and we proved ourselves by helping them defeat them. Pretty much they didn't do anything, we just killed them on our own, but they said that they would let us go and release the captives if we helped them defeat the rest of the trolls in the area, which we did, and then they let us all go.
Yeah, we gained their trust by showing our badassery and via action.
Hell yeah.
And she says, I will alert Sergeant Yoram. I believe he will have a great interest in this, as his men were the ones that patrolled the high road. Do you know, is it safe for the patrols to continue, or should we avoid that area? I'm not sure what the details of your agreement are. I would hate to disrupt whatever deal you struck with them.
We appear to have reached a peace treaty. We weren't specific in the terms, but they understand now that if we leave them alone, they'll leave us alone.
Yeah, definitely emphasize that to the men to not.
That might be best for us and for them. I understand that they are a culture quite of their own, and although I don't quite understand them, I would hate to do anything to cause any sort of discord between Leylon and them.
Well,
If they-
Griselda, they are very territorial. They are very concerned with us intruding on their land. And I think as long as we don't do that and we respect our boundaries, I think we can all benefit from mutual peace.
And she says, I think that'll be the best for all parties involved, Leylon and the lizard folk. I'll get this news over to Sergeant Yoram. He will be very interested to hear that his missing patrols have been returned. I'm sure he was very, very worried, and this was most likely a top priority for him. So thank you for helping him in this regard.
We're happy to help.
And then as you are unloading, the merchants and soldiers that were nearby come out, and the merchants say, I believe I offered a reward for you and your party. Within give me a few hours, I will send somebody with your work. And where can I find you?
We'll be at our I'll describe how to get to our little, like, what is it?
Villa?
Villa.
Yeah, our villa, yeah.
And I'd say we'll either be at our villa or at Umberhulk.
Yeah.
Tavern and Inn. That's
True. Yeah, that's what we'll be.
okay. We'll find you. Thank you again for bringing us to safety. That was the most terrified we've been in some time. I didn't want to be lizard folks too.
Yeah. I don't think anyone wants that. All right. Bye.
Bye. The soldiers kind of wave to you guys and they say, "Oh, we got to go talk to Sergeant Yoram." I'm sure he was just pulling his hair out, worried about us as they take off.
I was like, you guys take care. Don't water any swamps.
Hold on, you said Sergeant Yoram?
Yoram?
Yoram.
Haas Yoram.
All of my
Haas Yoram. Yeah,
these
hey,
Haas.
you get
It's the same guy?
adventure, you get inspiration.
That's a cool name.
Notes.
I didn't realize it was the same guy because all my notes say Sergeant Haas, and then I'm just like, wait, who the hell's Yoram?
Yoram, yeah. His Haas is his first name.
Got a little inspo.
I think I'm gonna break the news to the patrol before like they
Take off.
I don't know. I'm gonna pull them aside and just kind of away from earshot from Griselda and from probably any others that are around. Do we actually know the guys? Oh yeah, Vester Jessup, right?
Jessup, yeah, no relation to the car.
Yeah. So I say to Private Vester Jessup, Sergeant Haas may not have the greatest impression of who you are. He didn't seem too concerned with you being gone.
And Sergeant Jessup says, "Well, that doesn't make sense. He seems to care about all his soldiers, and why wouldn't he want to go out and find us? That doesn't sound right."
Why don't we test it?
Well, I would hate to come to become cross with Sergeant Yoram. I mean, he is my boss. What do you?
There's no need to become cross.
propose?
Just you don't need to. Let's see what he says about you coming back, and let him dictate the conversation. We'll see what direction it takes. There's no need to be forthcoming regarding you being missing. Just tell him that you're back now. We've been gone. You've been gone easily a week. So they had been gone for 5 days before we even left, and I'm assuming in-game time another couple days have gone by, probably, right?
Yeah, it's took a couple days to get down there, a couple days to come back. You guys probably spent a good 4 days or so in the swamp.
Okay. So yeah, at this point we're probably going on like close to 2 weeks.
Yeah, and as he's and he takes you up on his offer, and you guys all kind of like work your way over to the house of Talavar, or the tower, where the soldiers are being put up, and that's kind of like their new barracks now that you guys have cleaned it out. And as you get closer, you see Sergeant Yoram is like yelling at soldiers and like, shape up, men, blah blah blah. You guys gotta fucking be men and.
Barking out commands.
Yeah, and on the way there, I will say that Jessup does say something about oh, I need to get back to my friend. I'm sure she is quite worried about me.
She was worried. She's the one that really pushed us to come find you, Jessup.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sure she worked something out with Sergeant Yoram. He'll have more details. So you guys approach. You see Sergeant Yoram barking orders at soldiers and stuff. How do you guys proceed?
I have my own idea, but go ahead.
My plan is just to get to the villa and have everyone recuperate.
I would say, Jane, any thoughts on how we approach this?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit.
Because remember, Haas kind of was like, didn't give a shit about them.
Yeah,
Really
he's a piece of shit. Yeah, he was a piece
Yeah.
of shit.
He's like bad time. Let's, you know what? I want the private to know what a piece of shit this guy is. And that, we need somebody who's a little bit gives more fucks about the people who working under him. Can't have this sort of town be like this. We need better people. So
what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Are you gonna try to convince him to like talk? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's like I guess let's bait him. So we go up to him and do something like.
So as you guys are like standing there deliberating, Sergeant Yoram looks over and goes, Private Jessup, oh, I'm so glad that you returned. Are you okay? I've sent out countless scouts looking for you. It's been quite some time since you returned.
He's a liar.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna stand up on my wagon because I'm fucking super tiny.
Yeah.
It's like, he's a liar. He's lying to all of you guys. He didn't care that you guys were lost. We went at the behest of, which one is the one that's married?
Bertora, I think, is his like friend.
It was his husband, no?
I thought so, but Ronnie just said friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't.
I got the impression, because I remember distinctly it was like my husband's lost with the and his sergeant doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, that it says married to.
Okay, so I'm gonna find Bertora's husband, right? And
Yeah,
point to him and be
Sergeant
like,
Jessup. That's who you guys are with.
okay, I was like, dude, he didn't give a fuck about you. The only one that really cared that was trying to find you was your wife. She hired us to go get you. We asked your sergeant for information and for help. He refused and said, whatever. It's your guys' fault that you guys were lost or whatever happened to you. And he sucks, man. You guys need to get a better boss.
And she said, Sergeant Yoram says, "Oh, nonsense. These weirdos like to make up stories. They also said that the tower was haunted. Trust me, I assure you, finding you was our very top priority." And you see that like one of the other like soldiers in the background is like comparing like colors like samples, on the walls. And there's like, what do you think about this? I know you said this was like our number one thing. What are we going with like a forest green or more of like a mossy green?
See, look.
No, and then Sergeant Yoram just like wraps his arms around him and he starts to. He's like, I'm so glad you're back. I was so worried, and like, oh, you just mean so much to me. And he's like holding him real tight,
dude.
At this point, like I'm now on board with Jane and Ebrath, where they're just like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Sergeant Haas, call forth the men that you sent to look for Jessup.
Oh, good.
They're out on the high road. I just, I ordered them to march into the swamps and set the whole thing on fire if need be to to get our men back.
Right, but who though? Vox has a good point. So I'm gonna pitch my voice fucking loud as fuck, as loud as I can get with my tiny little lungs, and say,
You
hey,
have prestidigitation.
I don't have it prepped. I have it, but so like, so any of you guys that were sent after this whole group here, just raise your hand. Just if you had an official orders from the sergeant, raise your hand.
Nobody raises their hand. And Sergeant Yoram says, "Oh well, you see the men that I sent are still out there. They're probably slaughtering the lizard folk as we speak. I mean, I gave them the utmost authority to do whatever they needed to get these men back. So those savages will be dealt with readily soon."
Oh, Sergeant Yoram, your care for your men just is really surprising to me. I am assuming because you have some sort of, what's it called, workers' comp situation to cover all of the things that these men have gone through. I'm sure you'll be generous in that way too. They spent so long away from their
All that back
families.
pay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please tell us what sort
hazard
of thing
pay.
you have going on for them.
Miss Jane Vista, I need you to understand that this is not California. We do not put our employees
What's
first.
California, dude?
This is
What's California? First of all, it's upmost. I'm just kidding. This reminded me of that New Girl episode. I'm just gonna kind of, I'll lean down. So Sergeant Jessup's standing like near me on the wagon, I'm assuming. I'm in the bed of the wagon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like reach down and like kind of like whisper conspiratorially to him and say, yeah, I would really take stock of who's here and who's not here, because I'm pretty sure everyone's here except for who was on guard duty at the city gates. He didn't send anyone for you. It sucks. Your boss is awful. We should work on getting you a new one. And I'm just gonna hop down and start walking towards the villa. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna like throw the peace sign up to you guys and be like, I'm gonna be at home. I'll meet up with you guys later.
How many guys are like in the area?
Like, in regards to how many soldiers you know to be in Leylon? Well, if
Just like in the immediate area, like here where we are talking.
Sure. Give me first, one of you guys give me a history check.
I'll do history. Let's go, bitch. It's a 10.
Okay. That's not terrible. With a 10, you know that there's probably about like 50 men in Leylon. They have patrol guards who usually go out in like a squad of 4 or 5 or so.
Okay.
There's like whatever patrol or like guards are at each end of the city gates. There's like a north side and a south side. And you know that there are, other just like street patrols that just kind of like make their rounds and just make sure nobody's committing crime.
Mm-hmm.
And you, what are all of your passive perceptions?
12.
Oh,
Somehow. I don't know why mine is so low, but it's 12.
Mine's
that's
13.
That's about like average.
Yeah.
It's
just
Tybalt
has
a
a crazy
high
high
one because of his shield.
Because his wisdom, right?
Oh, because of his shield.
Oh,
he has
that's
a shield
right.
that gives him like a plus 10 or something, or plus 5 or something like that. You recall having seen a full squadron of guard staff at the town gates as you came in. You imagine that there's a full staff at the north side gate. You've seen the regular amount of soldiers patrolling within the streets of Leylon. It looks like everybody's here.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Well, I think I would probably at that point, I don't know that Jessup has much to say, but like, I just want to be like, how are you doing now that you know this, that your boss fucking sucks? We're just kind of giving them that pep talk, but also like gauging like how upset he is by this. Is Breltora here, by the way?
No, she's still off in the smithery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Jessup looks
From
over
the
at
Smith of you.
Sergeant Yorm and he says, Haas, it looks like everyone's here, man. I've known you since we were in diapers.
damn, I
We
didn't
grew up-
realize it was that bad.
We grew up in Neverwinter together. We went to school together. I got into fights protecting you.
Oh, because you're a bitch.
Are
Oh,
you
'cause you're a bitch?
are you really saying that you didn't send help for me? And Sergeant Yorm says, no, look, these guys are lying to you. There's this specific group of mercenaries that I sent out on their on a quest to go get you. There's this legendary group. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're called the Fandalorians. I've paid them 1,000 gold to go out and find you. They're out there looking for you now.
Yeah.
In fact, I need to get word to them that you're back.
Hold on.
Wait
I'm
a
gonna
minute.
pull on Vox's on like Vox's whatever clothing you're wearing. I don't know if you're naked because you're a giant rock or not, but so
You
I'm
get
gonna-
some crumblies and you're
yeah,
just
it's
like, wait,
what the fuck?
what did I grab?
Dude, isn't that us? That's you guys, right?
No.
Yeah, you guys are the
No.
Mandalorians.
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
the
that's
Mandalorians.
your name.
We are okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Sergeant
Wait a
Sergeant
minute.
Yoram goes, I assure you, these guys top notch. They made Fandolin great again.
Dude, I'm gonna look at Sergeant and be like, hey, guess what? The Fandalorians did save you because that's us. And he did not promise to pay us 1,000 gold, but it kind of seems like he owes us that now.
Oh, so at that point, I'll say, okay, so we brought him back. Let's have the gold.
Yeah, where's that 1,000 gold, dude?
Oh no! You guys can't be the Fandalorians. I've met with these people directly myself. I mean,
You're full of
this will
shit,
not
dude.
stand. If you continue to impersonate other officers, that's not okay. I mean, I'll need to speak to the Growler about this. This is not. And then he goes,
who?
you know what? I have business to attend to. I need to call these mercenaries off. I'll return in due time. He just books it.
Damn, that's wild.
Damn.
What a piece of shit.
So I'm back to okay. So Jessup already obviously knows what really happened.
And he's just
Okay, let me.
he's just standing there like dumbfounded, like I was his best man at his wedding.
Oh my god, just worse and worse.
This keeps getting better.
Yeah. He's just like, as he's like walking off, he's just, his head down, real sullen. He was just like, I was going to name my firstborn son after him.
God damn. Do we know like if there's obviously Sergeant Haas is like the one that's calling the shots here, but do we know if either Jessup or anybody else would be like second in command or considered like ranking higher or like, assistant manager or whatever the fuck?
Someone who's keeping
yeah.
receipts.
Assistant,
Yeah.
Assistant
Yeah.
manager of the army.
Assistant to
I
the
don't know the
assistant
term.
regional manager.
so yeah, I was
He's,
going to say assistant to the regional manager.
He's shift supervisor for the army.
No, we never really established that.
Okay.
I mean, a sergeant's yeah, that's right. Because what's Jessup?
He's a private. My
He's
notes say
technically
He's
private.
a fucking
so-
private, and they're the
Yeah.
same age. Damn. Anyway, yeah, I'm like, you guys should fucking figure this shit out. But who's the dude? Griselda kind of oversees everything, right?
Yeah.
We should go talk to her because this guy fucking sucks.
That's who you just talked to right before this.
Got it. Well, we should reiterate to her that their sergeant is awful. Actually, don't you guys have didn't your orders come from Neverwinter?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just, whoever your boss is, I'm talking to Vox, we should just send them a fucking letter. Send him a raven and say at
Well-
our request he should be removed of his post.
One step at a time, that breath. How about we go talk to Bril Toro quickly and
Sure.
get some rest after that?
Yeah, let's do it.
As you guys walk to the smitheries, you just hear him still just like muttering to himself. He's like, I only joined the army because he asked me to.
Dude,
It's just so fucked up.
So like, buddy, and I'm like reaching up to pat him on like the hip. I'm like, buddy, You got to pick your friends better, man, because like you've been friends for what, like 15 years, something like that, 20
They
years?
were in diapers.
Yeah, but how old
Yeah.
are they? Is my point.
They're like in their mid
I
20s.
was 15
Okay.
and still in diapers.
Yeah,
So-
they're in their mid 20s. You know,
Sorry.
Okay, so they've been friends their whole lives. Like
this is a
dude,
different culture.
there had to have been some signs, man. So at some point, it's on you, dude. You know?
Well, I mean, just we've gone through everything together. That time that he fell into debt with the mob, like I was there with him, getting the beating just right by his side. I thought we were brothers in arms. There was that time that he got busted sleeping with that guy's wife, and I stood up for him then, and we've always been together, side by side.
Oh man.
Like
So he's an
all
awful
those
person,
times-
but you're
all
a
those
dummy.
times that he like owed them money, like I did what I could. I scraped together my life savings and I helped him out. And, I just thought that's what friends do.
Buddy. That's I don't have the strength to continue this conversation. So let's just keep it silent till we get to that to that smithery.
And you
I gotta
just see
talk
him like wipe away a tear. He's like,
I
think
know.
you're right.
I know. Well, we got to talk to your wife, dude, because she's got to step it up. You're
as he's,
not
like,
the
walking-
best at decisions.
He looks at you at breath and he goes, "Do you do that kind of stuff for your best friends?"
I don't really have best friends. These guys are pretty cool, but I haven't known them that long. Never had a best friend before, so I guess. But like to a certain extent, right? Like you can't just keep covering for that person forever.
Yeah, he says, that really saddens my heart to hear that you don't have a best friend. Do you have anybody that you're close to outside of this group here?
Well, I mean, not anymore. I did. I had people that I worked with, and then people that I studied with, and then my dad. My dad was really cool, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, well, that's good. At least you have your dad. My dad died when I was really young, so I didn't really get to know him.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
that's
he's
why I
dead.
don't have like a. Oh, your dad died. I'm sorry to hear that. How was
It's cool,
like,
man.
natural causes or?
You could say that. I mean, anything stabbed enough times is gonna die of natural causes, right?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up. I didn't realize it. Wow, now I just feel like an asshole. I just had my heart ripped out, and I feel like I'm ripping out yours. My bad. I'm just, still trying to process this whole thing.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Your friend sucks. My dad's dead. It's
Yeah,
The way
my
of the
dad
world.
said too. I hope I don't know if that makes it
Twinsies.
any better, but he wasn't stabbed to death.
Cool. Did he
He
die of
was
old
just
age?
Old, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like he wasn't really that old, and then all of a sudden he was. I thought it was kind of strange, but
Like he got magically really old?
oh, I don't know if it was magic. I don't know if I really believe in magic, but
Wait,
yeah.
dude, you don't believe in magic?
I mean, like
Didn't
there
you
are
see us
definitely.
do magic to like fight things off for you?
I mean, like there are definitely things in the world that just don't make sense,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have the schooling to make sense of it. I know your friend is like a holy guy, but like I just don't know how I feel about all that stuff. Like
Well, I mean, religion's
I
not
just
for
take each day
everybody.
as it is.
Yeah, religion's not for everybody, but like magic's for sure real, dude.
I mean, like I don't know. Like there used to be like people that would come into Neverwinter and they would do their like card tricks, and they would pull the bunny out of their hat.
No, I mean like I can make fire with my hand with using nothing else.
I can make fire too. Like that's
No.
that's normal. Like I have like
like I can make it appear out of thin air. I don't need to use like wood and sticks and flint and shit. Like I can literally just go like this.
If I had the time to prepare like some pyrotechnics like under my sleeve. Like I would be able to do that too. I just have better things to do with my time.
Oh my God. All right, man. Yeah, I'm sick of you. Let's just drop you off with your wife.
Well, hold on. One last question for you, Vester. Who's your dad?
Oh, his name was Roger.
Roger.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where was your dad from?
Oh, Neverwinter. We've
Okay.
basically been there like our whole lives. His dad was born there, and his dad was born there before that. They're just kind of like simple guys, simple men. We just live regular city lives. I got convinced to join the army with my buddy Haas. And nobody in my family had ever done anything great necessarily, so I thought that was my ticket to fame. If I joined the army, I could be a part of a grand battle and bring some recognition to our family name. And my dad, he sells like wagons and like stagecoaches and like used stagecoaches sometimes, so if you ever need to buy like a wagon or a stagecoach, like just ask for the Jessups over in Neverwinter. Kind of a specialty.
Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Wait, but your dad's dead though, so
Yeah. Roger died. So now it's like my my brother and like his brother and like our uncle kind of like helps out.
Was your dad the only one to die of old age quickly?
of like
It was kind of
crazy
strange.
old age.
He was like in his 50s, so he was like middle aged. But then all of a sudden one day he came back and he was like really old.
Came back
And then
from
he
where?
died like a week. I don't know. He was like off somewhere in like the woods or something. He was going on some like. So there's this dude who like takes like people out into these like magical woods and like they're just woods, but he's like this like adventure guy and you can like pay
fucking
him.
magic denier. And
I shoot a glance at Jane and just kind of like murmur that's Falcon.
I want to be like between the two of them and see the glance and be like, what's going on? What was that? What are you?
Yeah. And he says like, yeah, it was just this guy. And like you pay him to take you onto this like excursion into these like magical woods or whatever. And I don't know, something about like they ended up finding some like ruined city. And he said something about a like just a really angry little like lady that just like really like plants and animals. And she was always hungry. And so something about like not having enough food for her or like eating her food or something, I forget. But yeah, he came back and he was like an old man, and I didn't understand. I thought it was just like some makeup or something, but then
Was that
heart failure,
was that what's her name? Luna?
No, they would have been Lechuga.
Well,
But
Luchuga.
we don't know
Lechuga.
that.
Right. Well, I don't know that for sure.
I wouldn't know it either.
No,
Yeah, you would. You
no,
guys-
yeah, we did. We
you guys
encountered
Oh,
her.
we
her.
met her. We met
Yeah, we met her.
That's
We met her
right.
on the
That's right.
journey to find the sword.
Yeah.
We remember we did that whole area backwards. We were supposed to see her first, but we saw her last before we got to Dragon
She
Barrel.
was supposed to be your guide through the magical forest.
Yeah. We just stumbled
Yeah.
through, fucking up
Had the
survival
whole thing
checks
planned.
left and right. Yeah. Okay, so sounds like your dad got cursed, buddy. Also, how far is it to the smithery?
Oh, we've been outside of it for a while. You guys were
Sick,
asking about my
man.
dad. So,
I'm gonna fucking push.
I don't
the
want to
door
be
open.
rude and like cut you off, so I just.
Oh no, for sure. I just want to make sure you get home safe. I'm gonna push the door open.
Yeah. You hear Belmora in the back. Vester! Oh!
Like, hey, your husband's here.
And she comes over and she says, "Thank you guys so much. I was worried sick," and you can see her little like half orc tusks are kind of sticking out a little bit. And she says, I don't know what I would do without him. He's everything to me. He's my hero. He's going to be the legendary warrior that saves our family.
For sure, lady. Wait, real quick. Do you believe in magic?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I use magic in my smith. Like I,
Yeah, well, what's up with your husband then?
and then she like does like a little twirl and like she has like a fire kind of come up.
So I'm
And
gonna
then-
look at him and be like, so what's that then? Your wife just did magic.
And he goes, "Oh well, yeah, that's just fire. Like that's not magic. Fire's real. Like if you touch it, it burns you."
I'm gonna look at her and be like, yo, you guys are married for real?
And she goes, he hit his head when he was young.
Oh, okay, okay. Because dude straight up, like, was telling us about his dad. His dad was cursed to death. And he was like, yeah, he just was old randomly one day.
And she goes, "Oh yeah, I did hear that story. Something about some like wolves or something, Yeah, that's kind of crazy."
Anyway, so we wanted to drop him off with you, make sure he got home safe because he was very upset. His buddy, the sergeant, is a piece of shit. And we kind of just like,
And she's like, "Oh yeah, Haas has always been like that.
Yeah.
Real selfish guy."
100%. So we kind of just explained that to him, that he needs to get better friends, and we should probably work on getting him a better boss too. We're gonna try and do our best on that front, right, Vox?
Yes. I don't. He doesn't seem fit to be leader, quite frankly, Breltora.
She goes, "Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time, but his family, they got money, so."
Oh, they're rich. Okay. Yeah, rich people suck, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's safe. I guess we're awaiting what's her name? Griselda is gonna give us a pretty cool reward. So yeah. Oh, quick question. Are you working on anything cool in here? Like anything cool, magical that we should be aware of?
And Jessup goes, "Nah, bro, nothing like that here. Just regular old."
Just regular ass shit.
And Beltora says, "I'm not. This isn't my smithery. I simply work here, but I have been wanting to experiment with some magically infused items. If you are ever in the need for anything like that,
Infused items, you say?
yeah, I've been wanting to, having seen the state of the military force here in Leylon, and knowing Haas for quite some time, I think that they could do with some better equipment. And so I've kind of been doing some research and practicing in my spare time, but I don't quite have the authority to move forward with a lot of my experiments, but something that I am working on in the background.
So what does your boss not support your like experimentation, or is it just kind of like too expensive?
A little bit of both. We don't quite have the resources currently because we're so focused on.
Yeah, because it's time to dump.
Yeah, like I've spent most of my life making armor and items and weapons, but right now we're focused on like steel beams and like
right
things
so
like
maybe
that.
maybe as the reformation comes along, reformation's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that maybe you'll have a little more time to do what you need. Also, I'm pretty good at infusing things with magic myself, so if you need some help, I might be able to teach you a couple things.
Oh, that would be tremendous. Yes, I like I said, I've been studying on my own, and this is something that's quite new to me. I actually have only recently discovered the ability to infuse things. There's a little dwarf lady who works at an inn up north.
Oh yeah, we met her.
Goes, "Oh, are you familiar with her?"
My buddy's wearing her armor.
She goes, I thought that symbol looked familiar. I know a lot of the like sailors and people that are out on the ocean kind of worship, that particular god, but I just thought that was, his deal.
Yeah, you're talking like my taller well, everyone's taller, but my the pretty one, right?
Yeah. The pretty
Yeah.
one, and then the like scruffy, like Mr. like, oh, I'm too have a dark past looking, I'm upset
Hey,
guy.
Talking about Tybalt?
Yeah. The
Oh
bully
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a bad mood a lot of time, but he's good people. He's really good people.
Yeah, I'm sure he's great.
Yeah, but
He's
Gon,
very endearing.
we kind of befriended that lady, and Gon worked out a deal, and she was able to we kind of both worked on his armor. Like I beefed it up a little bit for him, but she
Cool.
had like a really nice set of armor that I used, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, when I was there, Tiga was showing me a lot of her wares, and kind of like was explaining to me how she goes about infusing some of her magic. She goes, I'm not a worshiper of like any particular god. In fact, I think like hers was a little bit on the nose, like
Yeah,
everything was like storms and like thunderbolts and stuff. And I'm like,
totally.
okay, that's cool. That's not quite my vibe, but if you worship Talos, like that's cool. Like I'm not here to like judge anybody for their religion, like I'm sure
Mhm.
your friend is dope. Like I know he's like a cleric or whatever, but
Yeah,
like that's not me, as you can tell, religion and magic isn't really on the forefront in our household.
dude, let me give you let me tell you a little secret. You don't need to worship a god to like work infusions and shit. I can actually like write some instructions down for you. It's pretty cool.
And she goes, okay, yeah, so that's my thing. Like I've been
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. Like she told me like her whole process, but like I don't worship a god. And so like I was just trying to figure out how I can infuse a little bit of my magic into it.
It looks like you already kind of have the magic part down. You got a little stuff in your fingertips. So like here's what I'm gonna do. Let me go home and rest. I gotta buy a better map anyway, because my map's all like ratty and shit, and I need to start making some notes on it. I'll buy a little journal, like a little notebook type deal, and I'll fill the first couple pages with like some notes on the infusions that I know how to do. And then yeah, you seem cool. Your husband's kind of dopey, but you're nice. So yeah, that'd be sick. I mean, and it'll only help whatever you're doing with the city. So
Yeah. And she's like, I know he's a little bit special, but trust me, like he's just got a lot of personality.
yeah, no, he's nice. It's well anyway, I don't know what these guys want to do, but I'm gonna get ready to go hit the hay.
Yeah, she goes, and Ebrath, if you ever, want a workspace to like tinker or work on your own, she's like, please, just seek me out. I'm willing to work with you on this. This is something that I'm very much interested in learning. If I can
Yeah.
learn to craft special items, like I feel like it would only be for the benefit of us, of you, and of the city. Like that's what we're here for.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. Well, let me what time of day is it?
It's like getting close to like it's probably like 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Like sun's not quite setting, but it's everybody's kind of winding down at this point. They know
Got
that
it.
the sun's gonna set soon.
Okay, so let me probably gonna spend the rest of the day hanging out the villa and chilling. I'll come by tomorrow morning sometime with a little notebook for you, and we can go over a couple infusions.
Cool. Yeah, and then like outside of the game, I do want to try to like encourage you guys to like have like off time. Like
Yeah.
what are your characters doing off time? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
say like, oh, maybe you spend time like working on stuff, whatever.
With her.
Maybe Vox goes out hunting, in his downtime and like finds, rabbits and whatever to like cook. And maybe Jane.
Honestly, I'd probably I mean a little bit of that, but I think I'd be hanging out with Jane quite a bit because it's not often that I encounter another
Blood Hunter.
Blood hunter. Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking
Demon
like,
Hunter-
It's
Demon
not
Hunter's a
often I
sick
encounter
anime you
another
should watch,
blood
Dave.
hunter. So, huh?
I said Demon Hunter is a really good anime that you should watch. Oh, Demon
That's really
Slayer,
fun.
sorry.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. Demon Hunter, is that Diablo thing? Or am I fucking my lore up?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Also
they're the
banned.
like ones with the crossbows, right?
Like me. That's why.
Also they were a Christian band.
Yeah, they're a Christian metal band. They were bad.
That's less cool.
They had like one song that was pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, yeah, you guys are able to head back to the villa if you'd like.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm gonna do that. And definitely like kind of chill, start cooking up a little meal for everybody,
Mhm.
and then find my little bunk and pass the fuck out.
Cool. Real quick, what did you guys take for your 8th level up?
I took Fey Touched Feet.
Which gives you what?
So it gives me I took the intelligence boost, so it caps my intelligence at 20. And then I get Misty Step is built into it, and then I picked one other spell. I picked Hex. So I have a free use of both Misty Step and Hex once a long rest, and then after that I can cast them with my normal spell slots. But they like Hex doesn't operate like a normal level 1 spell. I think I can't upcast it until I get access to my 3rd level stuff, which I won't have until level 9. But I can still cast it as a 1st level spell, which is still pretty legit. It basically just gives me extra damage to any target that I hex. And then I can impose disadvantage on any ability checks. I just have to pick it when I do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What'd you pick,
Okay.
Dave?
Just the ones I was telling you guys about before. So I got a couple of new favored enemies, I think is what so I got,
Which gives you
I
like
know.
advantage on like survival checks or like history checks or something.
Yeah, so anything to track them, or if I'm trying to recall any information about them, I get advantage on.
Cool.
And so I have like kind of a lot now. I have undead, goblins, orcs, humans. Yeah, and then I learned abyssal because like I didn't know what other fucking language to take because I have a ton of them already. And then I added another natural explorer, so I have mountain and forest now. So I'm proficient in traveling in them and just being in that environment. So anything mountain or forest, I'm like extra good in, I guess. And that's kind of it. But I invested in this because next level I actually get to fly, which I'm super excited about.
Oh, yeah.
Flying rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild,
Um,
honestly. But
A
What-
bunch of rocks being
why do you
covered,
get
being
to-
like picked up by bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you get to
Makes sense.
fly?
it's part of my
Swarmkeeper.
insect master. Swarm keeper.
What?
Yeah, so I get to fly up to 10 feet per turn. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
basically just like the swarm is like lifting me and I can fly around a little bit.
Dude, but the utility outside of battle is gonna be sick.
I know. And in
Hey-
battle too. If I'm just fucking in the
Yeah.
air shooting at people, that's
True.
pretty sick.
That is
Especially
pretty dope.
because like if I get high enough, like I can only do it for a certain amount, I think for a minute. I can fly for a minute.
So that's
But
10 rounds.
right,
Yeah.
and I can do it.
How many
3
battles have you
times.
guys been in that lasted longer than 10 rounds?
Not many.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can do it 3 times per long rest, I think. So like ideally I could just float in the air, and since I have a crazy shooting range, I'll just fly straight up and just bomb on people and they can't even most of the time probably can't get back at me.
And that would give you like if that would kind of negate like if they were hiding behind like a rock or like a fence
Right.
or
Yeah.
something. You can get around
Yeah.
like cover with that, which is pretty cool.
So
And like
that's
you
gonna be
get
sick
10 feet per turn,
per
but
turn.
like so you
So I
can go
could
like
60.
go up 10 feet and go up
Yeah.
10 feet.
I could do 60
That's cool.
feet, and then that would, but I get 3 uses of it. So 3 total minutes of flying per long rest. So it'll be fucking cool, I think. And then after that, after this next level, once we get to 10, I'm going back to Blood Hunter, and then I'm gonna take probably the order that lets me morph.
Your body.
Yeah.
What is
So that's gonna be
your
sick.
order, Shane?
Death something. With
Death healer?
memento. I gotta look at it again. I always forget. Ghost Slayer.
Oh, cool. What does
Yeah.
that give you? Like you
I think I could commune with dead things. Let me pull it up. Um, Order of the Ghost Slayer. Why don't I have it? Okay. Well, I could do that Aether Walk because of that, I think. And then, I fight against Scourge of the Undeath, basically. I study death, obsess over the mystery of it, and then, and like, just kind of super fixated on the power that can bring forth the undead.
Cool. That's actually
Yeah.
very on par with our like theme for the campaign. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So there's not a ton to do in town. Did you guys have anything in mind that you guys wanted to do? You guys want to go down to like the Umber Hulk Inn and
I did want to do something while everyone was asleep.
cool. Did you guys want to do
I'd
like
say I'd say Vox is probably like dead tired, just wanting a good night's rest.
yeah.
Because I don't know what time we got back to town, but I'm assuming it's kind of late. And
Like it's like 4 p.m., but we've been traveling like all day. We just
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can even
bunch
say
of
that
battles.
like we take a couple days, you know,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
just like recuperate and
But I do want to do one thing while everyone's asleep tonight.
cool. Yeah, what are you doing?
So I'll wait till everyone's asleep. Then I'll get up. Because I was gonna say that like I wanted my bunk to be like on the second story, somewhere with the window. Climb out and then climb out onto like the roof. And I'm gonna wait till it's like late, like where like no one would really be up besides like fucking drunk stumbling home or like guards at their posts, right?
Mhm.
So we're talking like 4 o'clock in the morning. I would get onto the roof and get into like meditative stance, pull out my my cannon and have him kind of, so basically as he's going to be kind of like my hand, but both hands are going to be out, palm up, and he's going to be kind of hovering a couple inches above my open palms. And
What does that look like?
so his configuration would change. So normally people see him as either the little spider robot that climbs up and down my shoulder, or the modified firearm that I use with him. But this time he is going to change. Do you remember anyone ever played Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay, so like the little fucking your robot companion.
Yeah.
So picture that, but instead of his, like same thing with his eye, but he would hover close to my face and my eyes would just kind of lose focus and go into a little bit of a trance. And I'm trying to get a little more pinpoint information on how close I was to that source of kyber crystal and if I can detect where it is now.
Give me a survival check.
Ooh, +0. 13.
Aside from the crystal that's in Vox's bow, you don't detect any.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, in my mind's eye, I'm gonna try and keep that location we were in mind, and also keep the feeling that I got from my cannon when the alarm went off. Like there's obviously like a bond between the two of us, and there was something magical happening which threw him off. So yeah, I'll after that I'll have him return to his normal form, dismiss him, and then climb into bed.
Cool. Is there anything Vox or Jane would like to do in their downtime?
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Jane, as always, is really upset that she's been in very moist areas for longer than she needs to be. So she spends the evening before she goes to bed polishing her whip, cleaning out her crossbow, make sure it's moisturized. Same with her leather garb. And then once she's like pleased with the level of suppleness it is returned to, she goes to bed happily.
Nice.
I would say that maybe not necessarily the first night, but over the course of like a couple of days of downtime, like you said, we're sort of getting back to whatever, getting back to normalcy and just kind of recovering from all of the madness. I'd say throughout those couple of days, you guys see Vox spending like a little more time and a little more time and a little more time with Hobby the Fat Worm. And eventually, you start to see like really kind of weird stuff happening with him where maybe like at the beginning he kind of cocoons up and eventually I'm sitting with them and just like spending time with them, either petting them or whatever the fuck, and just like kind of hanging out with this cocoon looking entity. And eventually you see him shapeshift almost between like 3 different forms. So he goes from, I'd say probably the first and most prominent would be his like flying form, which is essentially like a giant hornet, think like hornets are already big, but like fucking huge hornet. And then he like comes back too. And then for the next one, he becomes this like almost centipede looking thing where he's crawling, you can see he's very water oriented and he's like, very like he jumps into, there might be a bucket of water or whatever. He's just like fucking swimming around and really going at it. And then the final one would be like probably similar, but this weird worm with little like needle feet. And just kind of shifting between those 3 forms as the days progress and training him almost like, teaching him the commands and like learning even kind of an unspoken way of communicating with them, of basically like, attack that spot or whatever. Like he'll go and fucking destroy a glass or whatever. So definitely, I think there'd be quite a bit of that going on in my downtime. But I'd also, like I said before, I'd probably take a minute to like connect with Jane and just talk about like blood hunter shit. Like, Jane, do you ever get this like burning sensation in your blood? And what the hell do you do about it? This is new. I think you have a little more experience with this than I do. What is this?
No, I think it just really depends on like the sort of order you've joined and what drives you, what your passion is. I think personally, I just always fixate on what my goal is going to be, and it is to burn down any sort of undead I run into. So knowing that one day I'll be able to help out the world by doing that more and more frequently kind of helps me keep that burning in check, but also gives me the sense of like I have this power and it's ready for me to use when I need it to use. So I'm using it to kind of like propel me forward to reach my goals.
I guess a good question would be like, what drives you as a blood hunter to continue down that path?
I've just seen a lot of death, and I've seen what happens when what untimely death can do to people and the sort of havoc it can reach. And I just don't want anyone else to suffer needlessly. It could really change a person for good and bad. So I want to make sure that I can do what I can in order to prevent that sort of suffering from happening to others.
As we're having that dialogue, I think I'm just like digesting and eventually almost kind of out of the blue, almost interrupting you a little bit. I'm like, so where'd you come from? What's your story?
Well, I mostly grew up in Waterdeep. My formative years, you would say, were spent in Waterdeep, but I wasn't from there always. I used to live with my father in this village, and we had a really simple little village life. We had a nice time. The village was small and everyone was happy, the way I remember it. But then one day, everybody started to get sick, and the whole village, I don't know what it was, if it was a pestilence, a curse, I'm not sure. But at the end of it, I was the last one left and everyone had died. So I headed to the city, which is the only other place I knew existed with people at the time.
So everyone in your village got sick?
Everyone died. There's no one left but me.
Where was that?
Real convenient. You're the only one that lived.
Blythe.
Where was your village?
It was the closest big city was Waterdeep, but we were kind of adjacent to a forest, kind of pastures, some farmland.
I might have been there. Where is this? What is it called?
Blythewind.
Blythewind.
Win. Blythwyn.
Blythewind.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah, right.
I
wrote it down. So you write it down.
Blythewind near Waterdeep. The Waterdeep is like a really magical city, right?
Well, it's humongous. It's like the biggest city in this portion of the continent.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Okay,
because of that, because it's so large, it does have like, it's a center for shit like that. Like there's like magical colleges, and like that's where the best like magical blade makers and armor makers all are, shit like that. It's mostly just because it's such a metropolis.
I've probably been to Waterdeep. How far did you say it is from Waterdeep?
Close enough for a small child to get to by herself.
Got
Far
it.
enough for it to be a harrowing journey.
Got it.
Okay.
At least like a day's cart ride, let's say. My father
Ooh,
used to
so it took
trade
you-
with people.
So it took you a couple days probably to get there on your own after everyone died. That's a bummer. That's sad.
Oh, Jane, I didn't know this about you. How old were you when all this happened?
Couldn't have been more than 11.
While they're doing their blood hunter thing over the next couple days, I want to say that I spent my time. I bought a new map. Well, one, did we ever get our reward?
Yeah, you would have had the 500 gold dropped off at your villa.
Okay, so we're splitting 500 golds. How many ways?
Yeah.
Like 7, right? There's 7 of us.
Is there?
I think so.
There's
There's us
six of
3.
you guys.
6. It's 6, yeah.
No, so it's us 3, and
Mhm.
then Tybalt gone. Oh
And
yeah, and then
that's it.
Jinx.
So everyone gets 83 gold.
83.
83.
Hey, real quick,
Mhm.
Margarita, it's Blythewind?
What's it here? Let
Win?
me win. Yeah, let me.
Blythwyn.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
So I would have gone to get a new map, a new detailed map of the area, because the one that I had was an old faded one that was from Songfarla. So the detail on this area in particular wasn't too great. And then I would have asked Vox to mark to the best of his knowledge where he was when he encountered the Warforged abomination on that map.
Warforged abomination.
That's what he described it like. And then after I do that, I'll also make marks that of all the times that I got like any sort of hit, like with my magical radar. Granted, before the time in the swamp, my last hits were when I was still in Songfarla, so they're like kind of broad strokes, like out in the area. And then I'll buy I'll buy a little notebook for what's her name?
Who?
The
The
Smith
wife.
lady.
Oh,
Beltora?
Beltora,
Man.
yeah, thank
Beltora.
you.
So, and
I
then
have
I'll
Braille Torah in my notes.
Belt, I think that's right. I think and then I'll spend that first morning writing out as many notes as I can from memory, consulting my own little like notes and journals, and then walk that over to her. So however much gold that would take me to get a good map and buy a blank notebook for her.
Okay, so quick step back. As you're asking me to like mark the location,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna just like let's sit down and have a good chat with Ebrath, because like not really even, not like in an overly protective or secretive way, but more so in like a bartering, like, I'm giving you this info. I just want to know more about Ebrath. And so I'll say, Ebrath, what's your story? I've learned a little more about Jane recently. I know very little about you.
Well,
You just
I
showed
grew
up
up.
one day and
Well,
here you are.
I came searching a kyber crystal. It was work that I had done with my father for many years. He was a scholar of sorts. I would describe him as. He was trying to discover a way to create kyber crystals artificially, because they are so rare. Getting a pure, powerful kyber crystal and finding it out in the wild is very, very rare, which is why weapons, even such as your oath bow, that are powered by just a fraction of one, are so sought after, let alone weapons that are powered by a full kyber crystal. They're things of legend, right? There may be one such of that type of weapon in the whole world, right? Like there's a handful of them that are out there. But my father realized that that's not the only utility for something such as a kyber crystal. He could use it to theoretically power whole cities and bring towns like this back from the dead. His research took him all over. Like I explained to Tybalt and Gone when I first met, I've actually been to this area, but it was some few decades ago. I journeyed far and wide with my father to gather notes, gather information. And we always headed back to our home in Songfarla. And there he studied and tinkered away until he was killed in an attack. Not quite sure exactly who would have wanted him dead. He wasn't trying to militarize anything as far as I know, but he left me with instructions on his deathbed to try and seek out the available sources of kyber crystals in the world, and once I found a sizable source, try and complete his work if possible. I've been doing that for the past year, and about 2 to 3 months ago, I got the biggest ping I've seen and headed out this way. I don't know. It sounds like I may be in search of that that monstrous warforged that you encountered, but I'm not sure. All I know is that's the first real reaction I've gotten since getting that first hit months ago. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be able to do when and if I do find the source, but that's kind of all I've known. I've been my father's assistant since I was born, so here I am.
Your father, what was his name?
Well, he gave me his name. He was known as Mather Abrath as well. I guess you humans would call it a junior. But he worked for Songfarla, but he was kind of left to his own devices. He received some funding to go out, funded his treks, but yeah, he was left to his own devices for the most part.
Did your father ever actually? You traveled far and wide in search of these crystals. Did you ever? I mean, besides trying to create them artificially, did he ever actually find any?
We never found anything complete. We found small bits and pieces. Fuck, you know, this reminds me of fucking Inuyasha, bro. Fucking Shikon jewel fragments. You're muted.
Yeah, I was basically agreeing with you. The little like jewel like
Yeah.
That's
And like
cool.
they would be like super powerful, or you get them in a weapon and they're just buff it up.
That's kind of the same deal. Like,
yeah, right.
Very similar. Yeah.
Except with the Shikon jewel, they're all fragments of one jewel. Where
Correct.
and
Yeah.
this one, singular gems exist. So no, we never found a complete one. We did add to our notes. We were able to speak with people who had either worked with them or experienced artifacts powered by fragments, but we never once encountered a fully powered artifact or a complete crystal. We got plenty of leads over the last few decades, but none of them amounted to anything. Either they were tall tales or the item or items in question were gone by the time we got there. And my father wasn't a fighter. I learned to fight to protect him on the road, but if there was any sort of component that involved combat, he always recommended that we just leave, take our notes, get what information we could, and leave. So
with the fragments you found over the years, what did he do with them? Did he ever mention anything about potentially putting them in the Warforged?
So, well, we didn't really. The idea of powering a Warforged is something that occurred to him, but that was not really what his goal was. His goal was to better whole communities instead of creating some sort of individual. We definitely had a plethora of those fragments that were not in use that we could barter for over the years, that he kept in our laboratory, that he examined and took copious notes and performed small experiments to see how they would react to certain items and processes. We were on, I feel like we were on the cusp of a breakthrough, and something or someone didn't like what he was doing. And that was it. I woke to find him dying, just a frail old man. And I did what I could with his notes. What wasn't taken was pretty badly damaged. All the fragments that we had amassed over 4 or 5 decades of work, gone. So I spent quite a bit of that first year just trying to recreate what I could by memory and what I had of my own notes. And honestly didn't know if I was going to continue doing any of this. But I was thinking of closing the doors and just going off and figuring something else out to do with my life until I got that signal from something here. And it kind of just reinvigorated me to follow his life's work. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get there, but it brought me out of the slump I was in, and now I'm here.
So sorry if this is too forward, breath, but aren't you ever curious who killed your father? And
Oh, of course. There was nothing discernible that I could find, and I scoured our lab for hours. There were city guards in the area that I believe were paid off and were of no help. I spoke to the magister and wreaked as much havoc as I could in their office, but no one wanted to help. So all I know is they came in force. They not only did they have conventional weapons, but some of them had magic. And for every 2 that I took out, 4 more came through the doors.
so you were actually a part of the fight when all this happened.
I was, yeah, as much as I could be, but we were very easily overwhelmed. And my father was an old man. Whatever he picked up in defense of himself wasn't a weapon. It wasn't something that was even in capable hands. He fought to try and protect his work, but once they got past me, it was a matter of moments.
Was it just the 2 of you fighting this?
We had assistants that were given the day off. It was a holiday of sorts in Songfarla, so he and I were the only ones in the lab. We were about to wrap up and go home, but our alarms went off, and after that, it was over pretty quickly.
Understood.
Yeah, it was because of the little to no help I received from the city. I was planning on moving somewhere else and, like I said, closing up shop, but now I'm too intrigued at the prospect of finding something that he sought after for most of his life.
I trust one day you'll have true closure, breath, whether it be just knowing the truth or whether it's vengeance.
You know, I would be okay with either. So I'm
Vengeance
gonna
seems to be a common theme amongst the 3 of you.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to exact vengeance on my own, but at the very least, if I could complete his work, that might be its own little revenge, you know?
Sometimes vengeance isn't all it's cut out to be.
Yeah. So I've heard. I mean, guess we'll find out. So I'll kind of keep making my notes and just kind of keep asking you questions, because like this is the first time, like I said, I've seen a really detailed map of the area, and there are like spots that I've like, one was I think like north of Fandolin, one was like on the road, and then the most recent one where I actually have like a pinpoint is the one that you're aware of. So I'll kind of like point those out to you and see if like any of them make any sense to you. But they were old, like we're talking months ago. And then yeah,
I would imagine
probably,
that the previous ones were probably just like rumors that you had heard, right? Or
right.
like,
Well, like it very soft pings, right? Nothing super substantial. There's the one that caused me to come out here, and then yeah, the rest are just kind of what I've kind of picked up on the road a little bit.
so now I'd say probably getting a little bit more of a comprehensive understanding of fragments versus like a complete or like a full kyber crystal.
Right.
Thinking back to what I saw in the forest, Ronnie,
the swamp.
the swamp. Would I at this point know definitively if it was like a complete crystal?
Give me a history check.
Can I assist him?
Okay.
Sure.
Just because we're having a conversation, we're kind
Yeah,
of trying to
absolutely.
hash out all this We're
Give me
trying
a
to put our
history
heads
check.
together.
With advantage.
Hell yeah, bro.
So 12.
With advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right. You remember, Vox Aslan, that a kyber crystal was part of the transaction that was supposed to have taken place when you were when you broke out from your captivity by the
Okay.
cult.
So it was actually a full one that was being talked about that day.
Yes, and that's
Okay.
as Ebrath has kind of alluded to. Full kyber crystals are become extremely rare.
Super crazy rare.
Jane, you will also have known that kyber crystals are especially powerful in regards to the undead. They're used for binding magic to mundane items as sort of like a binding agent, but you know that a lot of times necromancers and people that practice necromancy or magic regarding the undead, that kyber crystals really boost those powers, and sometimes they're used as like phylacteries. You also know that where'd he go?
Yeah. Wait, phylacteries? Phylactery.
Phylacteries. PHLYL. PHYL. Actors. I'll wait for Andre to come back.
Okay.
Are we gonna do a break pretty soon? I gotta take the dog out.
Yeah, we could. You can take a break now.
You wanna do it now?
I don't know where Andre went, so I
Yeah,
don't know how long he's gonna be.
that's fine. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
Summoned.
Hold on, let's see.
Okay, cool. Let's just
Oh, he left again.
oh, never mind. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess let's just take a break.
Okay.
All right, what time are we getting back?
I don't know, 15 minutes or so.
15? All right.
Whatever,
Sounds
however
good.
long you need. I mean, let's shoot for
All right.
15.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
I don't need to be like strict about it. What do you have planned for the rest of your day?
Nothing?
Dude, that's the best. That's
Yeah.
the best.
I think I have to work a little bit just to get another email sent out. I didn't have enough time on Wednesday. We're doing like a Black Friday sale, so I have to just make another email blast for tomorrow being like, last day, bitches.
Yeah.
Not too hard.
Did you guys
just
have
like-
pretty crazy sales or?
It's like 30% off the entire site, which is pretty good considering the prices.
What's your site? I kind of want to check it out.
Tawapa.com.
What is it?
Tawapa, so TAWAPA.com.
2 T's or PA?
TA at the end.
Tawada?
Tawapa.
You guys do like jewelry and stuff, right?
Like body jewelry, so like septums, plugs.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
hoops. I made
That
that
is
flyer,
pretty cool.
that Black Friday flyer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30% off with code Black Friday 22.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Black
cool.
22. And then no one's using the free shipping code, which I get. It's like kind of hard to be like, what do you mean I have 2 codes? But
Yeah.
that's fine.
Oh, that's cool. You guys have some made out of like wood and bone.
Yeah, so that's like older stuff. Like the company's been around for a minute, like early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So originally they were just doing organic jewelry, so like carved bone, wood, whatever. Like
That's kind of neat.
But now we're mostly doing like solid gold. So like the whole, because we do wholesale mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And so piercing shops will just buy like the little, what they pierce with, and then they put the little, if you have a nose, not a ring, but like a little stud, we do the decorative stud essentially.
Yeah, that's cool. I like a lot of these like mandala designs and stuff. Mandala.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's chill. It's like we get free jewelry. It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay. we still it's like fashion, but it's not super fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not
big
like
company.
Yeah. Dude, these ear cuffs are kind of cool.
Which one?
Your cuffs?
Bearded Warrior.
Yeah, the beaded warrior is the one I was
I
looking at, and then the like
Everyone
little
does.
beaded warrior.
What are you looking at on the website? On your company's website?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there's some dope shit.
Like I mean, obviously I don't have any piercings or anything, but these are
Pierce it
pretty
up,
dope.
my guy. It's 2022.
What's it called?
Tawapa.
You know what I really liked? Not after I was looking at your stuff, I found just because it's fucking just tawapa.com.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting like a bunch of ads for shit like on like targeted ads on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
like all
I saw
the
this
companies.
yeah, I saw this one super dope one. It's like based off like indigenous designs.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one I put in there? Dude,
Mhm,
that one was
yeah.
so sick.
They're really ornate, those ones.
Let's see. Where would it be?
I forget what the name was. It was not an easily remembered name.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
I follow them, so they show up on
Same,
my shit every
yeah.
now and then. But he basically makes like one piece at a time. They're all super dope though.
Andre, we're taking a quick break if you need to do anything.
Okay, let me use the restroom. I'll be back.
Okay. So when you said phylactery about the thing, just so I could get my notes clear here.
So a phylactery is it's an item. It's basically a Horcrux.
Okay, so it would be a necromancer. So saying like necromancer's phylactery would be like it is a thing that they are using as like a.
Yeah, so like in order to like destroy a necromancer completely, you would need to destroy their phylactery.
Got it.
It's an item that like binds their soul to this like plane of existence, so that like as their soulless body goes out and does things, it can be destroyed and then come back because that soul is still bound to that item. Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I looked up the word phylactery, but it's like Hebrew, and I was like, okay, that's not.
Oh, you found like the etymology of the word and like in fantasy, it's like a Horcrux basically.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. I'm glad you guys are doing all of this like backstory stuff because
I know we're pretty bad. Otherwise, I feel like it only really happens when there's a little group of us.
Yeah, well, and like also like Dave wasn't there for the last one when you guys were like locked up by the lizard people.
Oh, that's right.
So
that
that's
makes sense.
Probably why he's like asking all of these same questions.
That's how I was like, I'm like, wait, weren't you in my head? I was like, weren't you there? I'm like, oh, okay, well.
No, he wasn't. He was.
It's good though because it's making it more in my head. Like I didn't have to look at my notes for that, so I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how it like helps kind of with like the immersion and then like also knowing like, oh shit, this is what's going on with this character and that's what's going on with that character and like, oh, now there's all these weird like things that are coming together that like didn't make sense before, but now they make a lot of sense.
Totally. It's good to see everyone going like, oh,
yeah, exactly. That's the magic of D&D.
Look at us. Stories.
Yeah. We're doing it.
I'm over here trying to put this like giant doc with like links. So if I'm like, example, I like, with Ebrath, there's a bunch of kyber crystal talk. And so I'm making these like links within my notes for his character. So if I hit kyber crystals, it takes me to the part where the definition of kyber crystals is in my doc.
Do you have OneNote?
I do have it on my computer, but I'm using just Google Docs right now.
Yeah.
I do like OneNote though.
But so like the thing with OneNote is that like it's so good for organization because you can create those links, and so when we first started, I had like this big OneNote file where I had each town and like each location and they all had their own individual notes with like links back to other things, but it just became so much like you have to like stay on top of it and like
exactly
I don't really take notes during the session because like I'm busy looking up all these other things and like whatever, you know. And so then it's just hard to find time to like go back and like listen to 4 hours of like
Right, to be like, what did I write
Yeah.
down? Yeah. I'm like
Yeah.
trying to like listen and type at the same time. So I'm like, this is kind of hard. I'm kind of
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Dave both do a really good job of taking notes. So thank you for
Well,
that.
it helps me
Nobody else
remember too when I'm doing that. Like it's something about typing it out makes me feel like, okay, that's what he's saying. But I have to be careful not to get too focused on that and miss
Yeah.
like detail. So
See, all those years of like college has like prepared you for this, you know.
this is basically
Taking-
what it is. It's note taking.
taking
Like,
notes
what did the
during
professor
lectures.
say? Yeah.
Yeah. He said what? What's a phylactery?
Yeah, exactly. Ah!
All I got was some Hebrew shit. What is it?
And I would never, they record them too, and I'd never go back to watch the recordings. Well,
Yeah. For the last session, you weren't there. Vox had that big like encounter with that character, and it has a big connection to Andre's last character that died. But Andre wasn't there for that. So I was like, cool. Like he has no idea that any of this happened.
yeah.
And I know he's not going to go back and rewatch the thing. So I was like waiting for it to come up. And then like as like Dave was talking about it, I was like watching Andre on the camera, like, oh, let's see what his reaction is.
Yeah. That's
But
good.
yeah, I try to go back. Like I'll go back and rewatch them if there's something that like I can't remember, or sometimes like if there was just like something that was like cool that happened, I'll like go back and rewatch it. You know?
Yeah, to find that bit, to be like what?
Yeah, like I was telling Edgar that when Vox was having that little encounter with that character, Dave picked up on what I was throwing right away. He was like, and like he says, like, oh shit, I know who this is. And like I remember on the rewatch, I was like watching Julio because Julio was the only other person on cam. And I could see him go like, what? Like, and I could see him like his gears kind of going.
Yeah.
And then when like Dave said it and like said the reveal, he was like, oh shit. Like, and so it was like, it was cool for me to like see that reaction from Julio, you know, and like,
you're like, it's working.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the stuff that like I'm really like after, you know, like those little moments.
The reaction of it all. Oh man. When do you think we're gonna have everybody on again? I know it's really hard with scheduling.
Dude, I don't know. Like I thought Julio and Cynthia were gonna be on today. Hopefully soon. I mean, you guys are
just
almost
at least one.
Yeah, it is. I'm thinking about adding one more person just because like we always play with these like fragmented groups, you know?
Right.
So if we can just add one more person to have like 4 people instead of just 3, like,
yeah.
And then if we have 7 people on one session, cool. But like, you know, it's just everybody's schedules are so chaotic. I hate having to like miss sessions just because we don't have enough players, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Because we used to have 7, and it was kind of like hectic because like everybody would play every session, and it was 7 people, and so like sometimes like combat would be like real long, you know, because like it'd be your turn, and then it'd be like Andre's turn, and it's Dave's turn, and everybody always wants to put their cool little flair on it, which is great, and like I highly encourage because it makes it fun. But like as a player, you're like,
here, guys.
Yeah. As a player, you're like, cool. I'm gonna go have some lunch. I'll be back. Like, you know, like before it's my turn again. Yeah.
What happened?
We're just talking about how like we tend to play with smaller groups now.
Oh yeah, bro. Like we've.
And I was telling her like we used to play with characters and me as them, so 8 people total.
Yeah.
But it would just like create like a slog, you know, like
100%.
Like and like. As much as I want people to have their little flares and like add their like, you know, RP element to combat, sometimes it just drags on, and like that's just the nature of the beast, and it's unfortunate. I don't want people to feel like they can't add their flair, but
because sometimes when it's that many people, you're just like, even if you want to, you're like, fuck, I really want to add an extra 10 seconds to my turn, and then just like have it be an issue for everybody. Because if everyone does it, it adds time, which kind of sucks because like combat's some people think it's the most fun part of D&D, right? Like
absolutely.
I tend to
I
agree,
love combat.
but 100% I tend to agree. I do like RP elements as well, but like bro, a good combat session, you're like, fuck yeah.
Mhm.
So
Are those wireless headphones?
Yes.
Okay.
It's I borrowed Josh's because I remember like I've been doing this a minute and I hate when I have to like get up to go do something and I lose all of the audio I'm like, what the fuck happened? And so
Yeah.
Right.
I asked to borrow these for this specifically because
Cool.
I wander a lot when we're doing this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
so-
did too. I was going to like the other side of the house, and right now, Bran is just like not feeling well. So she slept in, which was why I started in the living room. But now she's like, get me some medicine, get me some water, give me. I was like, just give me a little bit of time. Just as soon as we're done, I'll take the baby on a walk. She was like, okay, fine, just get me what I need.
Let me get a drink since we're out back.
Is Dave back? Oh, there he is. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm just eating over here, so I'm gonna be low
Ooh, yum.
participation for a couple minutes.
Oh yeah, I just cracked a bottle.
I saw that
Yeah.
and it's like, I
Let me
want
see.
one.
Scorpion Bowl IPA. I got like there's like a
Oh,
12
it's not showing up at all.
12 days of Christmas.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not gonna.
I've seen
Yeah,
it. It's cool. I
yeah,
know
yeah.
which one.
Yeah. They have like a. So I like Stone.
Mhm.
They're not generally my favorite, but they had the dope 12 days of Christmas one, which is like their 12 different IPAs that they make right now. I grabbed that and I was like, hell yeah, this is cool. So I did that, and then I got like a lighter hazy, like a little 6-pack. Me and my buddy from work just fucking crushed most of it Friday night. And I had to fucking wake up and do shit around the yard, which was fucking sick.
Great. Why didn't I plan this better?
Well, because so originally we had that was the plan was Saturday morning, but then it got canceled. So then I hit up Ronnie and was like, oh, we can for sure play disc golf. And then that night, Brandon was like, by the way, my mom's still coming over for us to do this tomorrow morning. I was like, shit. All right. Well, I have these plans.
Is this just more of the yard cleanup sort of thing?
Yeah. So like we were arranging stuff. So originally we were gonna do just a dump run, but because the trailer for the construction company is like in the way, they're like, well, we can just prep for it. So as soon as they're done, all of our stuff's like in a pile, ready to go. Because dude, Brandon counted, there are 97 pots in our backyard.
Jesus.
A lot of pot.
That's just the backyard.
God damn.
Dude,
There's like
call
thir-
Link. Link will
there's
take
like-
care of that for you real quick.
But there's like
they-
30, there's like 30 more in the front.
Are they usable pots?
Some of them are, but
Are they
and we just
terracotta?
don't want them
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot.
you know.
Yeah,
So
so I'd take some pot.
well, I was gonna say, and they're varying
I take some
sizes.
pot
Like
too.
some of them are like pretty small, but some of them are
Oh.
like fucking big. We're gonna keep the bigger, nicer ones, and then pot stuff ourselves. But
That's the
dude,
money. The good
Yeah.
shit.
But some of it's like just old shitty plastic ones that have
Oh,
just
that's
been
not
in
good.
use for like 20 years.
They're all sun bleached, probably all.
Yeah, all brittle. So I'm like, I don't want any of that shit.
Yeah.
And all like even if they were all nice, like 97's too many, you know? Like
You gotta turn into
So-
a crazy plant lady in order to make
Hmm.
those numbers go.
our plan is once we're good to go, I do want to plant stuff. I want to build a little vegetable garden box, and then on one side we're gonna put new flowers, and then we want to put like herbs.
Cute.
Because
Dude,
the one
they're so easy to make too, the little boxes. I can
Yeah.
help you out. Like I used to
Oh, yeah.
do that with Miracle Grow.
yeah, now that we have room like in that back corner area, that's what I want to once it's all done, I want to put down some turf for Frankie because he has like no even like fake grass anywhere. It's all dirt.
Mm.
I want to put some like fake grass for him so he can like use the restroom and hang out right there. And then right next to it, I want to put the box so that it doesn't get direct sunlight all day. Because along the wall by the pool, it's sunlight all day. So I figure I can put like
Cactus.
yeah, well, we have a bunch of cactus already, but
Oh, I love cactus.
some pretty big ones you could have it, dude. If you if you have room for it.
I can't in my apartment now. I would die.
They're huge, dude. Like I think they're both over 6 feet.
Just like
One
a
was
big
even bigger.
5-gallon pot, like in
Yeah.
your living room,
One-
like
one was-
right in your doorway.
Yeah, we got rid of one in the front that was like 10 feet tall,
Oh my god.
but it was all dead too. It was like
okay.
just
I
not
was
taken
like,
care of.
no.
The other ones are alive still. We're gonna keep them for Nopales, but
Nice.
yeah. So this one wall, it gets full sunlight, so we're thinking some like pretty durable, like cute plants, and then whatever durable I don't know, like time and shit. I don't know if basil needs a lot of light or not, but
I think
I wanted
basil
to.
might need more humidity than anything.
Got it. It's by the pool. That might help.
It's all
To get that chlorine water.
yeah.
Basil
Put like cut the bottom of like soda
are
bottles
really
off.
easy to keep up.
Oh, that's true, huh? Just irrigate it all.
I always kill my herbs, but I think that's because they're not in the ground. I always have them in pots, and it's just
Too
the
much.
changes are too extreme for
Yeah.
it to be such a little thing. It's just they get all.
All right, cool. So going back to what we were doing, Dave, you were trying to recall what you knew about kyber crystals, correct?
Not quite. I was trying to recall if what I saw inside of the Warforged and the swamp was a full crystal or fragment.
Got it. If you could tell.
Yeah. Knowing what you know about Warforged, you recall your former companion, Blast, having a kyber crystal core, and he was that's why they were after him, basically. That's why Ascendus, his brother, was constantly like hunting him and trying to get him to, either join him or whatever. He ended up taking that by force after the dragon fight. That was always Ascendus's goal. You do recall that when you encountered Ascendus in the swamp, his core did glow, similar to Blast, how Blast would, but it was a different color. His core glowed glue. What's the glowed?
Glue. I don't know. I think it's glowed.
Blown. It glowed a very bright red, whereas Blast was more of a like light purple. Kind of had like its own kind of color to it.
Yeah. So with all that said, though, do I know if this time around it was a full crystal?
Wait. Blast light was always like green. It was like viridian.
Oh, I thought it was like that purplish hue.
No, those are just his eyes.
Oh,
and his blood.
Got it.
His blood was that purplish hue. His eyes were that little like light lavender, but the glow was always like a viridian, like a silvery green.
You're muted, Ryan.
He's yelling at his mom.
Muted. Oh, you're yelling at your mom. Okay.
I saw the face. I was like, yeah, he's talking to his mom for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Laura. I love you.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We'll have to go take over the baby sometime soon.
I know. I haven't seen him.
We'll take him over soon. Brianna's not feeling well, and he was getting over being sick. So maybe in the next,
All right.
around the holidays, I'll take him.
All right.
All right. Love you.
Love you.
So yeah, you don't know for sure if it was an entire whole crystal or not. But you imagine that, knowing that Blast had one, you could imagine that he had one.
Well,
Since he seemed to take Blast, is that what you're trying to imply?
I mean, I'm trying to.
See, the whole thing was like, even with Blast, I never realized, my character never realized there was any difference between like the fragments versus a full crystal. I don't think that's ever been brought up before. So for me, it's just like, I knew there were kyber crystals that exist. I just didn't know to what varying degree, how powerful they are or whatever.
So that was kind of something that I think character-wise was only really hashed out between Blast and Tybalt, like in private, when he realized like, oh shit. After one of the encounters with Ascendus, and kind of Ascendus's like veiled remarks being that like, oh, he was like the failure and Blast was a success and stuff like that, and stuff in the notes, it was alluded to, and then Blast and Tybalt came to the conclusion that that is actually like his core, and which is why he's a little unique when it comes to other Warforged, is that he has a full kyber crystal that powers his core, which also kind of didn't give him sentience, but there's a big difference between him and Ascendus, and it's not just that it has to do with the kyber crystal.
Okay.
Yeah. I was having you roll a history check earlier. You recall that action that took place led to your breaking out from your by the cult. Supposed to be a kyber.
Ron, you're cutting out big time, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
You recall, Vox, that when you broke free of the cult, that you were there, they were there to obtain a full kyber crystal. That was the transaction that was supposed to take place that led to your breaking out. That's the only other full kyber crystal that you're aware of.
Okay.
Until you encountered Blast.
So now I think I'm starting to put two and two together to where like I've, seen or heard of the shards, and like that's always kind of been a thing. But now that Ebrath is explaining, like, no, there's a big difference between like a full crystal and a shard.
And a shard, right.
I think now I'm starting to put together the dots of like, oh shit, that whole transaction that we had breaking out from the cult is way more significant than I initially thought. Because now I'm realizing that, number one, it could power a whole city potentially.
Right.
Or number two, that same amount of energy that could be used to power a city could like equally cause harm.
Destruction, yeah.
Okay.
Like that's why there were so few of those weapons. And then also they're difficult to work with, right? Like a fully powered huge crystal. That's why it takes someone like, Zeth the White to make someone like Blast, some crazy powerful artificer, or like all these smiths from like forever ago, which is why those crazy weapons, like just look at the weapons we have, right? Like all of our +1 special weapons, and they're made like with just varying levels of shards, like Oathbow versus the Goblin King Greatsword, right? Which was like a rare weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, that would have been a slightly bigger chunk of that type of crystal than maybe the Oathbow, but nowhere near the like a full one,
Right. I think taking all of this in, it just makes me realize how much more badass Octavia was than I thought, because of like the magnitude of this transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Where before thinking like, okay, it's just kind of, everyday thing. Now realizing this was like probably a once in a lifetime type of transaction for a lot of the people involved.
Right. Yeah, like getting your hands on shit like that. That's like look at Ebrath and his father, right? They spent literally like half a century searching for one and could not find one.
Yeah.
So Ronnie, I want to see, obviously we can come back to this conversation if we need to touch back on it, but what kind of progress is Breltora?
Breltora, yeah.
Breltora. What kind of progress is she going to be making after the couple days of working with Ebrath in her shop or in the smith?
It's going to take some time. The biggest issue being like resources for Leylon.
Mm-hmm.
But as the campaign progresses, she could definitely be a resource for you guys.
Got it. But they're like getting along, doing their thing. He's fucking, and like I'll have it that like I'm filling her notebook with knowledge of every infusion I'm able to do at this point. So like as I become more and more powerful and I get more infusions, I'll be coming back and being like, yo, I figured out how to do this new shit. Here's the notes on it. Here are the steps.
And not just that though, you also have to take into like consideration the status of the city. Right now you guys are in the process of rebuilding. As the campaign progresses, like the city will progress and will have access to more resources. So as we continue going forward, as the city expands and expands its resource availability, she'll start having access to more items to work with and things like that.
Got it. Okay.
I would also say over the course of these couple of downtime days and having formed a better connection with Ebrath, I probably would like give him even more details about the whole interaction with the Warforged. And not that there's like a lot more to say, but really just kind of spelling out the details. So like a couple of quick highlights here, so I don't read the whole thing again. But basically, the new Warforged looks like it has elements of red plating and gold plating that all look like they've been intertwined and
like melded together.
Basically, yeah, it looks like one entity. When I first encountered him, he had red eyes and a red light in his chest. Wait, the armor is actually gold and black, I guess. I might have said red. So it's
gold and black.
And then probably the final like highlight was
real quick, you'll remember that when you guys first encountered Ebra or Ascendus, sorry, he had similar armor to Blast. However, his was black. Blast was gold. The Ascendus that you encountered in the swamp had like a mixture of black and gold armor throughout his body.
Yes.
Are we talking like it's like oil and water type of mixture, or is it like even like where the breastplate would be black, the surrounding oblique part would be gold? Like how are we talking?
I almost pictured it. I pictured it as like two different halves of like a
like
breastplate
melding
being
together,
like fused, like welded together or something. But I don't know. It's up to Ronnie, obviously.
What about you, DM? What are you picturing?
Roll an intelligence check.
All right, bro. Intelligence check, bro. Me? All right. A check.
Actually,
Not
go ahead
a
and
throw.
roll it with advantage.
All right, cool.
What did you get?
Rolling it right now. Oh, not great. 12.
Okay. It sounds to you, Ebrath, as an artificer, it sounds to you like whoever is doing this work on them is taking parts from one thing and implementing them into another.
Got it. So it's not like a melding of metal, like fucking this weird like Damascus steel looking type deal. It's more like this part of the breastplate is gold. These are black.
Trim
blah,
or
blah, blah.
something.
Got it. Like when you see like an old fucking old Camry on the ground, and it's like you got a yellow door, but the rest of the car is blue.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Like an old Civic.
And so then, like I said, there's not a lot else to tell, but
the eyes were distinctly Ascendus's.
They were at first.
And then what happened?
But there was a moment where, like I mentioned, he was attacking me after, basically after I observed him for a little bit and then try to help him and calling out to my old friend Blast. Obviously I caught his attention.
Okay.
But he immediately turned around and basically told me I wasn't supposed to be there. And then essentially like came to attack me, froze at the last minute, and then his eyes flashed. And well, you're saying it's more like Viridian for Blast, but
his eyes are lavender.
Okay, so lavender eyes flashed briefly as his blade was about to strike my neck. And he basically yelled out, "Vox, help me," and then teleported out, basically.
God damn.
Also, I got the sense that he was testing newfound power in the way that he was out killing mercilessly, basically.
Just
out killing
fucking
these
people
creatures. It's just like he was trying to figure out what he's capable of.
Ooh.
And so, I'll share all of that, and obviously, with the details and everything of how it went down. Yeah, I'd say that conversation comes out slowly over the next couple of days, maybe like a little part and then another little part. And, just eventually having brought you up to speed. And like at this point, you'd probably know more or less like everything that happened.
I guess let me ask you this. How much of that would be Vox being forthcoming with that information versus how much of it would be Ebrath asking here and there?
So I was just gonna kind of talk about that.
I would think it would probably have to be Ebrath, like digging a little bit, because again, like trying to even formulate it in my own mind. Some things just kind of don't add up, and like I obviously don't know anything about Warforged or this type of technology, and like even the potential of like two beings become one is kind of beyond my hunter ranger comprehension, where I'm not used to dealing with that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So even like trying to put pieces together, like even in my mind, it probably wouldn't make a ton of sense. But I'd say probably with Ebrath, like prying a little bit, or not prying, but like asking questions and stuff,
Yeah.
it probably would come out that way.
I think I would definitely be, once you start giving me that information, it would definitely be more digging on my part, because
Yeah.
I've already gotten some bits. Like I know Tybalt was affected deeply by that supposed loss, and according to Gon, blames himself. Gon did give me a little information because Tybalt doesn't want to talk about it, and now you've given me all of the missing pieces, and I kind of like, now I understand the group dynamic a little bit more. I understand a little bit that the way Tybalt is now isn't how he always was. At least it seems to me. And not only was the whole group affected, but it seems that he was probably the most powerfully affected by what happened to Blast.
He was, yeah, I would agree.
And so I'm kind of just, from one standpoint, trying to take in all this technical information that may help what I'm trying to do, but also kind of trying to store it away so that I can be a little bit more personable and understanding when broaching the subject to the whole group and individuals, right? Like I'm trying to learn, okay, well, this guy will talk about it, but he really won't, and he will, but he absolutely won't, and stuff like that. So I'm trying to learn the group dynamics at this whole time, and trying to learn how to not be insensitive when broaching the subject.
And I'd also say there's probably a good level of interpretation involved, because Vox wouldn't be able to like explain it, in exact terms of like, this is exactly what happened, just kind of giving you like an overall, and you'd have to infer some things, I think.
100%. And so that's what I'm going to be trying to do. So basically by the end, my information isn't complete, but like, let's say I have 80% of the story, right?
Yeah.
And then talking to you, and let's say in these few days, I'm talking, not Tybalt as much, but talking to Gon as well, and trying to get information from him and Jinx, and getting whatever technical information they can give me, and kind of coming to my own conclusions from there.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Edgar can speak to how Tybalt feels, but like my impression of him having this kind of revelation would probably like fucking break his brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Of like, he just spent the last couple of months like, fuck, he's dead, and like doom and gloom, and all of a sudden there's still a glimmer of hope of, finding our old friend and potentially saving him or restoring him or whatever. But
and there's also the, not that we would know this in character, but like meta story-wise for Tybalt, he says that he's dead, but he's never really lost hope. There was a moment at the inn, I don't know if he's doing this every night, but there was a moment at the inn where he snuck out, and I kind of caught him sneak out, but I didn't see exactly what he was doing. And in character, he tried to cast sending to Blast, and it didn't work. And apparently this is something, and apparently this is something that he does on a fairly regular basis, because he's convinced that Blast is out there somewhere. So this information would,
like I said, from the very beginning, I again, we're going kind of meta here, but like from the very beginning, when all of that happened, right, and we're discussing like after the fact of the whole Dragon Keep scenario and everything that went down. From the very beginning, like I remember Ronnie was like, so how'd you guys feel about all this? And I was like, I'm not convinced he's dead. Like, I know he's out there somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. You did from the very beginning. You were like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do remember that. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses as well. I want to see, one other thing that I want to make sure we do is reach out to Octavia and talk as much shit about the sergeant as possible, and do everything short of demanding that he be relieved of his post because he's a piece of shit and a danger to his men.
Before we change gears, though, real quick, I'd also say probably that, I mean, I don't know how Jane's spending her downtime, but if she's like even probably reasonably close to all these discussions we're having, Jane, you probably get a sense, a little more of an understanding of like what happened. That was the big, event that everyone's kind of been dodging.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I haven't brought it up with anyone, but I'm definitely seeing, because I'm here, I'm adjacent to all these conversations, and I think the way I approach it is like, I wasn't there, I'm just gonna sit back and listen and take in as much information as I can about this, just because like we've been together for a minute, but we've only really been together for like less than a month, I think, as like a
few
party.
weeks, 2-3 weeks.
So I'm still kind of like, you guys seem fine. I don't really know you. I'm playing close to the chest sort of thing. But like some fucking shit went down. And I guess now I'd kind of be like, what is this a liability? Is this a good thing? Are they gonna be able to help me? Like this seems like it's kind of, I'm interested. Like what is going on?
Yeah.
And so two things. I would say number one, after having heard a little bit more about your past and sort of what happened at Blythewyn, and just you opening up a little bit, maybe my defenses have gone down a tiny bit, and obviously being a little bit more willing to share information with you. And then number two, you have been in such close proximity to like so many of these conversations, so I would say beyond what you've already deduced and just kind of overheard, I'd say you probably also have gotten a really good sense that we had a gigantic fight against the dragon. And that was the fight or the incident where we lost our old friend and he was basically killed by like his evil twin. I would say that's probably, what I would say that you picked up in addition to whatever else you had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
The proto man to his Mega Man.
Yeah. Exactly.
And also I would, as that's all happening, and obviously I'm speaking more and more to Vox, I'm going to be kind of trying to talk to Jane as well. And like, what's like, I've gleaned some of your backstory. I wasn't there one-on-one when you were speaking to Vox, but I've kind of gleaned a little bit here and there. You've spoken about it before when we were in the swamps, kind of about like what happened to you and how you became a hunter, blood hunter. But like, what's your goal? Like what are you trying to achieve out here? Are you just saying, fuck monsters, fuck ghosts, I'm gonna kill them, that's my whole thing? Or like, is there something you're trying to make happen?
Let me look at my
not that you need to have like an overarching goal, like you could legit just be like a witcher out here fucking shit up and trying to get paid.
I think that's the vibe I'm putting out.
Yeah, because it kind of seems like you're part of the group, but you're like, look, I'm trying to get fucking paid. You guys are okay, but I'm not really invested in you guys just yet.
Yes, that's accurate. I would say that's a good read of it. I know. I'll let you. I gotta look at this. It's been a minute, but yes, to that.
Okay, cool. So
we'll leave it there for now.
Okay, cool. So that's just kind of like the vibe I wanted to get and be like, all right, cool. So what's up?
She's like business. Like you're like, this is what you do. And
yeah. This is my job.
Not super emotionally attached to anything. It seems like
you're trying to get shit done. Okay, so then I will. Once I glean, I'm sure I'm able to glean that in the first day or so. Speaking to you, and then the rest, when I have downtime and like you're free, I'm just gonna be like, yo, so fucking, you gotta teach me how to like stay away from ghosts, because fuck ghosts.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my god, yeah, that's right. I do know that about you. You don't like it. You like to drink when there are too many ghosts.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to go, and you guys made me go, so I just got fucked up. And I will also be sharing my alchemic jug, which is a never-ending supply of either beer, mead, water, or milk.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are you the Rick Sanchez of Artifice? Like super fucking smart, but you have a drinking problem.
I will say, yeah. Okay, well, that's also too like my intelligence is capped, right? Which means I'm fucking brilliant, but my charisma's a 9, which is a -1 modifier. So So I don't, and also I have low wisdom. My wisdom's a 10, which means I'm brilliant, but I have no sense of tact or um social application for things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, kind of.
So where did you want to go?
Well, I wanted to try and one, I think we should regroup and
You
take
you
the job
mentioned
to.
something about Octavia too.
Oh well, I just want to send that letter. I want to send a letter to her in Neverwinter to try and get Sergeant Yorm fired and replaced because I think he's a piece of shit and he's only a liability to us and the town.
So are you gonna write the letter?
I would love to write the letter, but I need probably you or Tybalt to sign off on it because I'm not known to her yet.
Okay.
Like I could sign it as the Fandalorians, but I'm also like, I don't know if I'm really part of the group yet. Like we've only been traveling a little bit. Like we've fought a bunch together. Dope. But like, you know, to me, I'm almost like you guys are friends, but like you guys are still a group apart from like me and Jane, you know?
So I would see it's kind of funny, but like the way I see it shaking out is you have this letter that's like really emphatic and like emotionally charged. You're like, fuck this guy, and here's all the reasons
He's
he
fucking
sucks.
trash. Yeah.
And then I think I probably would come in and like make it more factual. Like,
Yeah.
these are the things that happened,
Yeah, maybe you
and
fact check me
your
a little bit.
interpretation is kind of open for discussion, right? But I think that's how that would go down for me. For Vox to provide a sign off, it would have to be like, okay, here are the facts.
That's fine. You
And
can,
but I would be okay with like a conclusion statement of like we probably could do better having another person, something like that.
yeah. Like, well, just like really at the end of the day, I believe he is a liability to what we're trying to do with Phandalin, and that's it.
I think I think in references to Sergeant, what's his name, Haz
Yorm.
I think in references to him, I think we'd even include a statement like he is a Harbin Wester Junior.
Oh my god, yeah. I would. I mean, granted, I don't understand the reference in
Yeah.
character, but meta, that's perfect. So
Yeah, and
okay, so
I'd imagine
So
that Raz
hold
was
on.
so
So
worked up, he's just
Margarita
like, yeah,
has no
fuck that guy.
idea. Margarita
Oh,
has no
true.
idea. You guys should explain that a little bit to
Yeah.
her.
So I guess if Jane's part of these conversations of like, we're gonna ask for, I don't want to say ask for help, but like as we're explaining our situation to someone, I guess, okay, so in character, I'll tell Jane, Octavia is a great ally to us, as you may have mentioned or may have heard me mention earlier. She played a pivotal role in me having my freedom again. If not for Octavia, I probably would still be a slave to the war machine that is the cult. And not only is she a great ally, she also has a great deal of influence in many unusual areas. And so with that kind of background of providing Jane with like at least who Octavia is, then I'll explain. He's alive, right? Harbin Wester Jr. is still alive, right?
As far as I'm aware. Yeah. But he's not like in like charge anymore.
He's not in charge. I think we kind of ran him out of his position.
No, Tribor
took over and also uses the council more effectively from what I remember.
Yeah.
Like he's the dude, but like he defers to his council as well. It's not just the mayor calls the shots anymore.
So I'll provide Jane with just a quick summary of like the interactions we've had with Harbin Wester Jr. So he's a guy that would hole himself up in his essentially
mansion. It was a mansion.
It was a mansion, right? It was like
let's say a small mansion, but it's like the largest building in this fucking town.
So Howard Hughes type.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly like that. Like but it wasn't germophobia, but it just super paranoid.
Who's Howard Hughes?
He was an aviator. He like designed airplanes and shit, but he was like a crazy hermit.
He was like a
germaphobe.
But he was fucking bonkers.
Off his
also.
fucking rocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was not a genius,
No,
but
no, no. But like recluse. But the thing is,
Re-
his main thing is like his self-preservation above
Right.
everyone else, and he's in
Right.
charge of this town,
Uh,
which is why we hated him.
right. Yeah, actually, we spent like a couple of weeks before we even saw his face because he was just like always hidden
Yeah.
behind the door.
Yeah. He would like, and it was like we tried breaking in, that shit didn't work. And then finally we saw him. We're like, oh, you fucking piece of shit. It took like us completing like 2 missions for him before we finally saw his face.
Not even. It was a while,
It was
bro.
more.
Yeah, that's
it was
true.
more than that.
That's true.
I would, and I guess I would conclude all of that by saying, Jane, unfortunately, you might meet this guy at one point.
Yeah. Speaking of
Especially because I think our next thing we should be doing is going back to
Fandom.
Yeah. So speaking of which, would you guys like to send this letter to Octavia?
Yes.
Yeah,
I vote
with
yes.
like I said, with some factual edits.
Right,
where,
right,
like I said, I'm like, you probably see a bunch of strike throughs where he's like just talking very
Mad
much
shit.
talking shit emotionally, and I'm like, actually no, like that was just this.
Yeah.
So there's factual edits throughout the letter, but yeah, ultimately I think there would be a conclusion statement of saying like, if we can get somebody else into power here, I think it would be beneficial to the rebuilding of the city and to everyone involved in it.
Yes, I agree.
I'll say that as you guys spend time in town preparing to head off to on your next quest, which is the aid to Phandalin. You guys have been chartered with what's the word I'm looking for? What is it called when you like go with somebody and you are like protecting
Escort?
them? Escort. Yeah. Yes, thank you. You've been chartered with escorting a goat herder to Phandalin, who is traveling from Leylon up to Phandalin, and it's a large stretch of road, and there's always perils. So they would like a little bit of security because they have 60 giant goats that they're delivering to Phandalin and to Big Al. So as the city is like preparing that and getting everything in order, you receive a letter back from Octavia.
Oh, okay. All right.
She mentions that she is happy to hear from you guys. She's interested in finding out more about Ebrath and about Jane. And she also addresses you specifically, Vox Aslan, and she says that she will meet you guys in Phandalin, and she has news for you, Vox.
Ooh.
That she will expand on in person.
Okay, that yeah, definitely very excited about that.
For the narrative.
And I guess upon receiving that letter too, I'd probably tell my new comrades here in case they haven't seen me like asking everyone and their mother about another Genasi. I'll explain that I am actually in search of another Genasi, and you kind of get the sense of like the relationship was kind of complicated. Like, the whole Facebook "it's complicated" thing. That's kind of how, like, that's sort of the vibe you get and not in a bad way. It was just like, it was the lines were kind of weird and blurry in terms of who the Genasi was to me. But I make it very clear that I've been looking for this Genasi.
Yeah, like maybe there wasn't you never got to have that "what are we" talk, but the feelings
Right,
there.
Exactly. You got it.
That just reminds me of the gif of the cat kissing the mouse, and the mouse is like, it's like, bro, it's like, oh, old boy hit him with the "what are we."
And that's exactly it.
Okay.
And I'll just say, I really hope this is in reference to who I'm looking for.
Hell yeah. Dude, excited for you, bro. Like, this sounds legit. I don't like a lot of people, and You're all right.
Give
You're
me
all
a
right
history
too.
check, Fox Aslan.
Okay. Real quick, sorry, you said she's gonna meet us in Fandolin, right? Just want to make sure I got that right. Okay.
Can I give him assistance?
No, you weren't there.
Ah, okay.
Come on, fuck. It is a 5, unless it involves phase fiends or undeads.
That's not.
Fuck. Or wait. Or orcs or humans or undead or goblins. Fuck. Okay. So it's a 7 total.
7 total. The last you can recall, you were separated from her in the Colts camp.
Yep. No shit. All
If
right.
you can recall anything else, but with the 7, I'm not giving you more info.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So is that something you would want to share with the class, Fox Aslan? The info you got from Octavia?
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, that's not anything I'm protecting. I mean, I want to find her, and if that's going to, in the course of our journey, somehow help us track her down, then
since I was well, not the last one, but I joined and I probably traveled the farthest, right, out of everyone to get here. Would I have gotten any information about another what the fuck are you?
Genasi.
A Genasi, an Earth Genasi. Because Genasi in general are pretty rare, right?
Yeah.
So
Very. I would also, I mean, throughout, kind of mentioning to you guys who I'm looking for again, like with the
right, like would it? I'm trying to think like
yeah, but I'm telling you, so I would have described her to you guys. So it's an Air Genasi, pale blue skin.
Oh, she's an Air
hair.
Genasi. Okay.
Okay, so just kind of giving you an idea of like,
would that have jogged my memory about anything I would have heard in my journeys to where I am now?
Would there be any reason for you to have looked for that type of person, or like
not that type of person specifically, but also because I'm not sure of what events transpired for the flare and power of the Kyber crystal that I'm searching for. I would have at least kept my ears open for anything unusual sounding.
I'm gonna say no.
Events or people. Okay.
I'm gonna say there's no reason for you to have there's no reason that you would have information about this person.
Got it. Okay.
Like I can't make it make sense in my head. So
okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm just like, yo, like maybe she's got info about your air lady friend.
I can only hope so, Brett.
Well, I mean,
final stop. I mean, at least for me, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, but I definitely want to hit the Umber Hulk tavern.
Oh yeah. Let's go hang out there.
Just to get some food in and see what's going on in town.
Cool. Yeah. You get to the Umber Hulk, and it's you guys have been in town for a few days now, and it's a little bit hustle and bustle there. It's like relatively I don't want to say packed, but like there's a good crowd. You're able to procure a table, and the staff comes out, takes your order, brings out a round of like meads and cured porks and like chicken and potatoes and carrots that are all been kind of like cooked and prepared for you guys to eat.
Question.
Yes.
One, so we've been together about 3 weeks. We've been in town, let's say 2 weeks total, right? In between us having gone to do shit.
I would say over the course of like the campaign so far, since the start of the Leylon arc, you guys have probably been there for a little bit over a month. You guys have had your time to kind of get to know people and
Great. Like we built rapport places. Okay. So I would like to see check one of two things. One is the fare that they're offering to us in the tavern of better quality than when we first arrived? Like, meaning, is it a sign that Leyland is doing better now than they were a month ago?
Absolutely. You just overall, you can see that the general morale of the
Much higher.
town is higher. People have now settled into Leyland, whereas when you guys first arrived, they were also just like new to the area.
Yeah.
They are now a little bit more settled, so they're a lot more comfortable. You can see that people have kind of like let their guard down a little bit around you guys, and are just kind of more comfortable.
Is Aelion Melwin here, the innkeeper?
Good job. I was looking for his name. Yes, he would be.
Okay. I kind of want to get the word out about the lizard folk, honestly. That's probably one of my, like, I wouldn't say like my top priority, but I just kind of want to get the word out there that they're not quite friendly, but like, so I guess I would just greet Aelion Malwyn and just buy him or her a drink. It was kind of unclear whether it was let's see. I took note of that. I put slender, androgynous, feminine, shaved but hair on one side, but wearing eyeshadow. So like I would ask Aelion to come have a drink with us, by him or her around. I don't want to get the pronouns wrong. But offer to buy around and just talk a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you like to talk to them about?
I would say to Aelion, Aelion, you must have you seen Private Vester Jessup since he got back?
And he says, yes. Private Jessup has been in here quite often. Seems to be really contemplating his place in life. It seems like there's a little bit of trouble in paradise with him and his bestie of sorts. He's been taking it kind of tough. So I've been there to comfort him, where I can.
That's important. I think he's going through a tough time right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
As he may have told you, I'm not sure if he did, but we sort of worked out a treaty with the lizard folk that are in not the immediate area, but in kind of the borderlands.
And he says, "Oh, my dear, that is incredible. I've heard ghastly things about these lizard folks. I heard that they eat humans. I can't imagine what kind of terror you guys encountered out there. You're so brave."
So wait, all right. So am I within earshot of this whole conversation?
I'd imagine you're there with us. Yeah.
Okay. So are you standing? Are you speaking to the innkeeper like at the bar?
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagine.
So while that's happening, I'm fucking about to hop up on a stool next to where you're standing, and just be like, nudge you in the ribs, like, dude. I know this isn't your air genasi, but like, come on.
And
they're into you.
Not even missing a beat. I'm like, Ebra, I can hook you up.
No, I'm just saying. I don't, I like to keep my game short, close to the earth. I don't like climbing trees.
And then another quick little aside of like, now
you like delving into caves, right?
I mean, 100. I mean, you know what? I'm open to it, but I'm just saying.
No,
80 really... years. 80 years of
Aelion's eyebrow cocks real high when you say that. He goes,
he's really into Gone, actually. I just kind of whispered, but like even more whispered. I'm like, no, he's really into Gone. This is.
I mean, who's not? Gon's a king
Everyone's
man.
yeah.
And so yeah, like I'll just make it a point. Aelion, please help me spread the word. The lizard folk have agreed to not harm anyone from this village as long as we don't invade their space. So there's no reason for us to be in the swamp unless we have very good reason and we can explain the reason.
And
But as long
even
as we
then,
avoid the swamp, we've kind of worked out a peace of
and
sorts.
even then, that as long as if you have a good enough reason to be there and you can prove it, they're fine. You just can't be showing up, armed to the
On
teeth
a witch
and
hunt.
trying
Yeah.
to fuck shit up. Also, their king's okay, but that gizzard, wizard, lizard guy, fuck that guy.
He says, "Excuse me, what?"
I think that
All
was
of
his
those
name.
things sounded the same.
Yeah,
Ah.
100%, man, 100%. And you should hear it with you should hear that title said with a snake tongue. It's fucking wild.
I heard that like one song when they perform, it goes on for hours.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't like being out there. It was honestly my favorite part was killing the troll, but
You guys fought a troll. Wow, that is
dude, like
terrifying.
4 of them, dude.
4 of them.
Wait, was it 4 or was it
I
3?
can't imagine that there'd be any more than 3, but that sounds wild.
You know what? I lost count. I got knocked out a couple times, so maybe I counted 1 twice.
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely were probably seeing double at some point.
100%. I was a little closer to them than I wanted to be.
So what's next on the horizon for you folk? I mean, you guys have been making your rounds around town, helping where you can, and the town has definitely seen a big morale boost ever since you guys got here. What do you guys have planned next?
The Fandalorians are heading back to Fandolin.
Oh man, I've heard
We'll be back,
Phandalin
though.
I've heard Phandalin is great again.
I can neither confirm nor deny this. I've never been there, but this guy's been there a bunch.
Yeah, last I heard, they changed their leadership and they've been thriving. It sounds like whoever was in charge before was not doing a great job, and now I hear that their town leader is just a very noble and honorable person.
Well, Leon, it's been a bit since we've been back, but things definitely seem to be getting better.
I say,
Have
yeah.
Have you seen Galileo of late?
Galileo, the old man. Oh yeah, he's always, he'll come out of his tower every once in a while, but it seems like he's deep in his research and kind of as is for him. He doesn't really spend much time with the general public. He's kind of a weirdo in that regard.
It sounds like he's back to his old self then.
That it is.
Well, Aelion, we're getting ready to head out of town here pretty soon. I'd like to just have one more great meal, and if there's anything you can pack for us for the road, I would greatly appreciate it. We may be gone for a while.
And he pulls out this like green bread, and he says,
Hell yeah.
Speaking
Hell
of
yeah.
Phandalin,
Hell yeah.
we just received our newest shipment of this gnomish bread and gnomish wine. Let me pack some up for you folks. I know you're gonna like it. And he points at you, Ever. I think gives you like a little wink.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean,
we're responsible for getting this in town, right?
No,
We are.
No, I had no idea. I mean, this just recently came about, so I didn't realize that you had a hand in that.
That's wild. Do you have a stake in like the business, like monetarily? Fox?
I was supposed to, Brad. I was supposed to, and somehow I got cut out of that deal and just like fucking slam my drink down and like stare for a little while, just pissed off at the table.
And
Working through my
Aelion
emotions.
just reaches over and like touches your hand and says, "Oh, don't worry, we'll take care of that," and pours you another nice tall.
So I will say, looking through my notes, how much of this, how many pieces of bread will I have?
I
Also-
would say you guys would each have like one
Okay, so 1 piece.
serving of bread.
and a bottle.
Like a loaf?
I have 4 charges of gnomish wine still.
Like a not like quite like a full loaf, but what are the little like a baguette, like a little small like
Oh,
baguette,
okay.
you know,
All right.
like enough
Okay.
for like one meal, you know,
Okay.
like you could eat it with your meal.
So also looking through my fucking notes, do you speak Draconic, Vox? You don't, right?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Did I have you read this letter already or no?
I have not seen any letters from you, Brad.
Cool. I'm gonna realize as I'm trying to basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna open up my satchel and I'm gonna start putting the fucking bread in there and then see this fucking letter that I found on the body of the Yuan-Ti that I can't read and hand it over to him like, by the way, you should probably check this out. So I realized in my notes I have Draconic letter from Yuan-Ti.
Yeah, I have it too. Found a note.
Yeah.
I may have to shake off some rust, but I can definitely speak it. And I go through like making all kinds of weird like vowel sounds, like when a baby's first learning how to talk and they're like, ooh,
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That's happening in my house every day.
So there's a lot of that going on before I finally like kind of it clicks and I'm like, oh yeah. But I do speak Draconic.
Okay, well, if you want to read this and let me know what this shit says.
Yeah. I will.
Cool.
Now or later?
I'm telling you, I speak like everything at this point. I have 7 languages.
Do you speak Gnomish and deep speech?
No, I don't have either of those. I thought about taking Gnomish, but
Do you speak
I was
Dwarvish?
like, I'm sure somebody else does. No, so I have Abyssal, Common, Draconic, Elvish, Goblin,
Damn.
Orc, and Undercommon.
Nice.
So I think
honestly, I think that's what deep speech is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be undercommon, but I fucked up.
Oh, okay.
I get myself deep speech.
I think like among the group, we probably speak everything at this point.
Yeah, we speak a lot of shit.
Hold on, I'm trying to find out. Trying to find my like notes.
And as Vox starts reading the note too, like his voice is already normally like I'm Vox and I talk like this.
Yeah.
When he's speaking Draconic, he's like, and I talk like this. As he's reading the letter, the whole thing's gonna sound like that. Just like an angry, like barking, deep growl thing going on. So who was it that was holding this letter? Yuan-Ti?
We killed a Yuan-Ti when we first got to the swamp.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
taken off the body of a Naga.
Yeah,
I don't think I was there for that
he was
fight.
he was trying
You
to
were-
fuck us. Yeah,
You were KO'd.
he kept trying to say.
then.
Yeah, he kept saying he was trying to fuck us.
Oh,
We
really?
killed him. Yeah, and we killed
Oh,
him.
that's creepy.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, because he was humongous and pretty strong.
Oh, I do have a note that he was the leader and he had a giant longsword with a serrated edge. Do you guys take the sword too?
No.
We did not.
Question mark?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think I don't have a note the same way we took the sword.
it seemed like a pretty badass sword.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. Basically, the letter that you have is general instructions from whoever is in charge of this particular Yuan-Ti, asking them to scout out the area of the Mirror of the Dead Men. It sounds like they are looking for a place to build like an establishment, maybe some sort of like colony. There's also mention of them building a possible site for a temple. They have heard that the Sword Coast has very strong magical alignments, and that area in particular, the Mirror of the Dead Men and the Crypt Garden Forest are known for its magical kind of properties. So this guy was out there looking for a place to set up camp and was given instruction to go ahead and just wipe out any resistance they come across. their
Got it.
goals come first. If there's any sort of resistance, whether it be from human or lizard folk or whatever, they're there to find a place to establish a new settlement.
And you said the Crypt Garden Forest?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I know where that is?
Um,
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
admire the Dead Man Rune, but I don't know where that is either.
yeah, let me pull it up. Give me one sec.
Give me one sec.
As we're reading all of that aloud,
Well-
I would say to Ebrath, obviously reading directly from the letter, there are magical properties here. There might be something worth looking at here.
In the swamp?
At the Crypt Garden Forest, wherever
Okay.
that is.
Is that I have my so I'm gonna pull up my map.
Yeah.
Is that on the way to Fandolin?
No.
Oh, Ronnie's showing
No.
us in a second here.
Okay. Also, how much gold would I have spent on the new sick map and then the notebook for what's her name?
For things like that, it's pretty I would say like 2 gold.
Okay, cool. I just want to keep track because I was at 0 before we got this
I forgot, what was it, 81 that we split?
83.
83, okay.
Also, since no one picked it up last time, I finally decided that I was just gonna attune the Staff of Defense
Cool.
because I had it on my person. It just means that I can't dual wield as cool as before. But fuck it. Gives me 1 AC, and then it gives me charges of both shield and mage armor.
You can use those as reactions, right?
Yes.
So what happens? Oh, okay. So you're not doing dual wield anymore?
So what I'm gonna do is instead of having them both like point like as guns, I'm gonna have my cannon still on my shoulder. I can still use my cannon as my bonus action. It just visually won't look as cool.
Okay.
So my flavor is a little bit off, but fuck it. More
Staff of
effective.
Defense is really cool.
Yeah. Like legit off the bat gives me 1 AC plus I have an extra usage of 2 extra usages of shield that don't count against my spell slots, 1 usage of mage armor, which is fucking dope. That's an action, but it's still
So, real-
I don't get it because I'm damn it. Okay, never mind. I can
Real
cast
quick,
it on somebody though.
Owlbear's acting up for me kind of. So I just posted it in the Discord.
Cool.
There's the map of the Sword Coast, and you can see that Leylon is there at the where the Sword Mountains kind of come to an end there on the coast there. There's Leylon. You guys were just in the Mirror of the Deadman, which is just south of Leylon. That's the swamp area, and you can
Mhm.
see where the high road goes right along.
Oh, I see Crypt Garden Forest. Okay.
Crypt Garden Forest is just on the other side of that, those little hills there, and kind of go alongside the Sword Mountains,
Got it.
which
Okay.
is just on the other side of where you guys were.
Right.
With, the Sword Mountains is where Ice Spire Peak
Right.
was, and all that. So
And the fort and shit.
yeah, and I'll even say that Alion, the barkeep, kind of overhears you and says, "Oh, I'd be very careful of the Crypt Garden Forest. They say that there's a lot of magic in that area. I would steer clear of that at all costs. There's rumors of the undead walking around, and
Ooh.
even old Gnawbones is said to rest there, and I would stay far away from her."
Who the fuck's that?
Oh, old Gnawbones. Have you not heard the tales?
No, not at all. I'm not from here, dude.
Oh, old Gnawbones is an old, very old, great green dragon.
Oh.
They say that she lairs in the Crypt Garden Forest. They call her Old Gnawbones because she loves to devour people like us.
Yeah, it makes sense.
She's often seen with like old skeletal remains hanging out of her jaws. And, she's a very bitter and angry dragon. We've all heard the tales growing up, and we know to steer clear of her hunting range because she is quite quite honestly the most powerful dragon in the area.
Oh shit. So stronger than the dragon that they killed?
I apologize, Ebroth. I'm not sure which dragon you refer to.
They killed a white dragon that was terrorizing Phandalin and in the area. I don't know its name. Just kidding. I know the name, but
I
my
know.
character doesn't.
And he says, "Oh, I did hear mention of a white dragon that was plaguing Phandalin, but I believe that was but a pup. Old Gnawbones is centuries old.
Oh,
I would highly recommend staying as far away from them as possible."
well, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we should just go to Phandalin first, and then if we do decide to go to the Crypt Garden Forest, we beef ourselves up a little bit.
Like I said, I strongly recommend it. The only other dragon that I know of is the bronze dragon to the north. I've heard that metallic dragons are more amicable and good-hearted than some of the chromatic colors.
I've heard that as well. Huh? Where is this bronze dragon located?
Oh, they say that they have a temple to the north of here, between here and Neverwinter. I'm not quite sure. I can ask around. I don't know the exact location, but supposedly there's a bronze dragon that people say that they see flying north along the coast with like dolphins in its claws.
Oh wow. Okay, so I'm just gonna make note of that. So we don't know exactly where that dragon is, but
More along the high road path.
yeah. Bronze dragon somewhere between here and Neverwinter, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of odd that you mentioned the dragon that was attacking Phandalin. It sounds like that bronze dragon used to have claim of that region, but if another dragon was moving in, maybe something happened to it.
Maybe that bronze dragon's no more.
Quite possibly. I don't travel much myself. I just hear the tales that the sailors bring in and the merchants that travel from town to town. I hear rumors. I don't know actual facts.
Okay, so it's possible that that bronze dragon is dead, and that's why that younger white dragon moved in the first place. Especially being that their dispositions are so different. Okay, keep that in mind. Is there anything else you can tell us about the road between here and Phandalin that we should be aware of?
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. There were a few travelers that came in the other day that were mentioning that the weather has been acting really strange. They said that there's hailstorm like winds and lightning strikes much further out on inland than what you're used to find. Heavy rains, storm clouds all over. Very, very odd for this time of year. This is not the rainy season, but they just were mentioning that traveling down from the high road from from Neverwinter, that they encountered very hard to traverse winds and rains and lightning storms, which is uncharacteristic for this time of year, and I think that's quite odd.
Definitely. Okay. Well, thank you for the heads up. We'll just have to be wary on the short journey to Phandalin. Because it should only take us what, like 2 days, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like a couple days, like 2 or 3 days.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for the heads up. We'll just have to be made aware and keep wary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Safe travels. I mean,
Thank
I
you.
would
Thank you
hate to
very much.
lose. I would hate to lose you guys.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be back. We'll come hang out when we get back.
And he looks at you and goes, I hope so.
All right, man. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace up, A-Town down. I'm gonna walk out. Bum, bam, bum, bam, bum, bam, bum, bam. Yeah, I'm just gonna bounce, and then that'll be the end of my time at the inn. I'm
Cool.
assuming.
Yeah. And just as a reminder, like this Aeon, the innkeeper, I think he is a good source of information.
Got it.
As a
Okay.
reminder to you folks.
Cool.
I knew that.
Guys, I'm gonna have
Can
to
we-
take off.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, I think
say,
this is a good space to wrap up, I think.
Okay, cool.
can we just restock on basic items, or
Yeah.
do we need to do a whole thing with that?
No, what are you trying to like restock on? And
Probably-
I kind of wanted to wait for the rest of the party too, just
To
to
restock.
see if anybody wanted to do any
Yeah, that's-
shopping. We could
okay.
probably do next
Okay.
session.
That's good.
Alright.
Are we
Alright.
trying to plan for next weekend, or do people got shit going on?
I'll be in the
Mm.
desert next weekend, but I mean I can play. So
Okay. I'm down to play
Next weekend.
Saturday. I
Oh,
think Saturday we're gonna take the baby for his Santa pictures, so we'll be busy. But
oh cool, I can't wait for those crying pictures.
oh my god, he's gonna be so upset.
I think
Um,
I'm good for the 4th of December. Yeah.
But I'm down to chill out too, to hang though. After we're gonna do wild lights on Saturday night, so after that, if you wanna come through, Ronnie, and then Sunday we could just play
Yeah,
D&D or whatever.
I have a wedding on Saturday that I'm
Oh,
going
okay.
to, but I'll probably hit you up afterwards. I don't think I'm gonna be there all night. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
Remember
all
my
right, well,
cousin Candy?
yeah, she's getting married.
Yeah, she's getting married
Oh
to
yeah,
that Daniel
Candy's
guy
dope.
that she used to date back in the day.
Damn, Candy's dope. I always liked her.
Yeah, she's cool.
All right,
All right,
guys.
dude.
Peace out.
Hey,
Bye.
go watch last week's sesh.
I know. I'm gonna watch it. I want to get all that info.
The first like 30 to 40 minutes, I would say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Peace out, guys.
all right.
Later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Good session.
Bye. Same.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.